All right, all right. I apologize for the delay in some of my whimsical nonsense. Right, right. No, but what's the motherfucking deal, man? Welcome to the Den. If you're not familiar with the Den, in my opinion, we don't want to trigger anybody, is the best conversation on the internet. And the reason why I feel that way is because of all you wonderful people who join the conversation each and every evening. Let's not talk about yesterday, but Monday through Friday, here, usually in the area of 9 o'clock, 9:30, to between 9 and 10 o'clock Central Time, aroundish. That's crazy. And, so I appreciate y'all, man. I know me and time have a very distinct relationship, so, I appreciate y'all sticking with me through that sometimes. So, let's get into the conversation tonight. Tonight, a lot of stuff has been going on around the country, the United States of America. And I think you got a lot of people that are losing distrust in the government in one way or another. We've seen pandemics, we're seeing riots, we're seeing looting, we're seeing all kind of crazy stuff happening in like this short amount of time, right? And it's so crazy. So some people want to dismantle the government. I want to talk about, do we really need one? And now I'm not going to try to convert you to some crazy ideology. I want to talk about a couple of things involving government. I want to know your plans. What would you do to improve the government as is, or would you overhaul it? What would you do? I'm just going to share some thoughts and some ideas tonight. And if you want to talk about any of the interesting events that are taking place around the world, well, feel free to do so. You know how we do around here. Let us see. Let us see. New pen. Gotta break it in. It's a new pen. And I see John, my favorite New Yorker, Miss Grace, K. Grace. How are you this evening, ma'am? It's like a dream. What's the motherfucking deal,
You
man?
hear about David Dorn in Italia, Kelly? I posted the videos to your previous show, The Reality of Riots.
Mess it up.
Heartbreaking. Sorry if this is not on subject.
We're going to talk about that, Dan. I'm glad you mentioned that. David Dorn. I haven't followed up on the was it Talia Kelly? I'm not familiar with that one, but David Dorn, man, it's y'all might catch a Honcho rant tonight. So I got some things to say about that, and we'll get into that. Second Dream and Dream Queen. Shout out to both of y'all, man. They've been kicking it pretty tough in the den, so welcome. Glad y'all are enjoying it. Lady Licious. You're here. Cultured, my main man. Daughter of the Discord in the building this evening. What's my motherfucking deal? Shout out to Culture. I dropped my pen. Y'all see me being very hefty, trying to bend over and get it. It would probably not be a good sight. Belle, how are you doing? I hope all is well, Miss Belle. Trixie McFly. How are you, Miss Trixie? I think it's such an interesting name to me. Because I think I was thinking of the name. I was like, what was the name? And I couldn't remember, and it's funny. Did I see you there?
Fans chanting F. Drew Brees in the streets.
F. Drew Brees in the streets. Let me see, like I'm saying it. It makes it look like I'm saying like I'm a fucking cartoon. So, Trixie McFly, what's the motherfucking deal? D the Gamma, what's the motherfucking deal? How are you, ma'am? Kenneth, honorable mention Cologne, old Ken and new Ken. What happens when a third Ken joins in? We'll talk about that later. DeMarcus, what's the motherfucking deal? David, what's the motherfucking deal? Let's see. Buck McCaffrey, what's the motherfucking deal? Let me see. Mike B, what's the motherfucking deal? Frost. Hey, Frost, how you doing this evening, sir? What's the motherfucking deal? Glad you could join us. King George, I appreciate the love. Dan the man, appreciate the love. Eastside, what's the motherfucking deal, Eastside? We'll go down, Eastside. How you been, my man? Shonda, how are you this evening, ma'am? What's the motherfucking deal? Prepaid in the building this evening. Oh man, I'm glad you joined us this evening. It's a lot to talk about. A lot of shit been happening in the world, man. So we have plenty to discuss. But let's get into it, man. Let's jump right to the David Dorn thing, right? And I caught on to this, I think yesterday evening. Man, Kate, what's the motherfucking deal, man? Glad you could join us this evening. Definitely hope you get a chance, but definitely love to hear from you. I feel like this is gonna be one of those nights, man. It's just some discussion to be had. You talk about these groups, Black Lives Matter, and these associated little affiliations, and I've already kind of expressed some of my thoughts about it. I niggas be tripping how you vote. You've made it where you have been easily infiltrated, and still control. Your movement has been, overtaken with all these other stories and all these other things, right? But whatever. I don't really care about that part. The result at this point is motherfuckers have lost their minds and they're running rampant in the streets. Not everybody is doing this. Let's clarify. I understand the difference between a protester who's making a peaceful protest, except for that nigga who was fucking Caesar dancing. I don't know what the fuck was going on with that. I don't understand that shit. Him and his associate. That I don't understand. But what I do know is what happened to David Dorn is uncalled for. And then some of the fucking shit I seen people say, niggas say after this shit. This is old man life in law enforcement, right? Was a police chief at one point. I think he was newly retired, but still worked, in some capacity. So what it was a pawn shop which he assisted for many years actually. And so when the alarm would go off, he would go over there and check out the scene, help him out with a little security, things like that. And he was doing this as usual, looting's going on, and he goes to go see what's happening, defend the place. This man gets shot, execution style. This man laid out on the fucking ground leaking, dying. The video's out there. I'm not gonna show it. You know what it was over? Till you know what it is over. One, you're looting a pawn shop, so you're going for fucking used goods, right? Some fucking TVs, man. Some fucking TVs from a goddamn pawn shop. And you sell me this bullshit, right? And I get it. There's so many pieces to these things that it's hard to control. But in reality, like, show me one aspect of this Black Lives Matter, whatever you got going on, and all these marches. Like, where's the leadership? Who is in charge? It's just some shit that's just kind of thrown out there. Let's throw it out there and see what the fuck happens. We understand why. We know why. But in the midst of all the bullshit that has spun out from George Floyd's death, you lost a lot more people. And if it's about Black lives, you've lost a lot more Black lives in the bullshit. And what you have are a couple of things going on, right? And we say, well, it's a lot of white people out there. They're rioting and looting, and if you look here and you look there, there's a lot of white people. Yeah, absolutely. I see it, and that's not going to deny that. Yeah, they're like, fuck, we've been letting y'all get all the opportunities. We're going to get some of this shit too, shit. Look, we peep the game, fuck it. But it's not just that, because we're the black people who are dying in these riots and shit. They're in black communities, and I'm challenging myself to do something, right? Because there was a conversation we had a while back in the den, and it was about trying to have a conversation about black power without mentioning white people, because it's a thing that bothers me, because most people, when you talk about black power, you got to mention white people, right? So it's a similar situation. I'm going to start finding ways to discuss, crime without using the phrase black on black crime. So we can get that out of the lexicon. That way people can't use that as a defense anymore, because it's like the thing that fucks with me more than the cop stuff. And the cop stuff is hit or miss. Some of these cases like this one, it's open and shut. I mean, you see what's going on. Some other ones there are sketchy. Oh, we remember talking about Brandon Weber a while back to Memphis. I think I talked about him on the sauce today. And his situation where people trying to ride for him, the city was riding for him, and he calls he shot another motherfucker over a car deal, like another black man. But we don't care about the guy that got shot. Does he got to die for it to matter? Or how, like when does it fucking really matter? And it's like, you can only equate the fucking black life if you compare it to a white life. That's like what's going on in I think a lot of black people's minds. So it has to be a white cop killing you. It has to be somebody white kidnapping you, shooting up your car, red truck, and white guy shooting up your truck here in at Walmart for whatever reason. Just pure racism, random, just shooting up cars. Like, it fucking never happens. And then, people who say they're behind it, money disappears. That's a whole other story. My thing is this, man, like, to sit there and watch that video was real tough, man. And like the man in the video said, man, it's somebody's grandpa, man. This is a man that's been in this community, helping this community for decades. I think it was 30 plus years, almost maybe 34, almost 40 years. So to lose his life over some raggedy ass used pawn shop fucking TVs, man. What kind of bullshit is that? That's the way you go out. That's the way that's how it is. Trying to do the right thing. That's what makes you question stuff sometimes. People are like, well, what's the point of doing the right thing, right? And it's fucked up. The guy was talking to him, hey, yo, G, come on, hold on, G. It's just tough to hear it, man. It was just like, damn. And again, people die. It happens. But I think people want to know before they go, their life meant something. And I'm not saying that his life didn't mean something, because obviously he put in all that work. He's meant something to so many people. And I'm not trying to undermine any of that, but it's just like, I don't know what he did or didn't know of the situation, but to that be the thing, that be the reason, you lose your life. And that's why I say, when niggas start valuing other niggas' lives more than fucking pawn shop TVs, Jordans and some shit, fucking jacket, whatever the fuck. I don't know what these new fashion designers and all this shit is, so that's some other shit. When niggas start valuing niggas' lives for more than that shit, then you'll see something different, right? So, I don't know, man. It's like, it was a tough thing to watch. If you ain't seen it, I don't know if I would recommend you watching it. But if you just want, the video is out there. I'm pretty sure there's plenty of articles you can read about it. But the thing I want to talk about tonight is when you get to talking about government and you get to talking about, is it a situation where the government is doing too much? Is there too much government in every aspect of our lives? Think about it, man. This land was tamed, right? And people had to work their way west. You can talk about all kind of different history in this country. Some good, some bad. A lot of things you can talk about. Now, to do any of those things that the people who pioneered this country did, you got to pay fees. You got to pay the government. You got to get a license. You got to get approval. You got to get a permit. Again, they get to build a house, to get an add-on, to do construction. Why? Why do we need the government for all that, right? Or do you feel like the government is doing what we need them to do? They're orchestrating things in a manner that you find satisfactory. Nothing's going to be perfect. I don't think anybody feel like it's going to be perfect. We know that. But that you feel like it's satisfactory, as good as you can get. There's trade-offs in life. You got to deal with it. So I want to know your thoughts on that. And included with those thoughts, like I say, one or two things that maybe you would do to either overhaul government or small changes. But like, what would you do to make changes to government to improve it, in your opinion? So it can, like I say, it could be something small, it could be something drastic. It's your opinion. So when you call in, we'd definitely love to hear that. I feel like it's something else I was supposed to talk about before we open the line up. I really do not. I can't think of what it is. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Appreciate it. It's just so. It's like, I don't know, man. Like it's a real wild thing that's going on, and I know people feel like it's going to erupt into this, and I know people are tense. I know people are afraid. I know people are worried. People are stressed out. It's a wild time, right? Everything that's been going on so far this year, you know, just so much crazy shit. Kobe's passing, COVID, fucking the Hornets were a small thing. Like, goddamn, but they didn't do the damage like that. But you know, this rioting, the looting, the Floyd, like a lot of crazy events. I know I'm missing some things. I know a couple other things happened, but it's wild. I'm not familiar with Pop Smoke, but I'm sure he was a popular artist. So that guy, you know, he passed away. You know, it's Tony Temple. I'm not sure about that one. But here's the thing, man. Here's like my deal. It's like all of the crazy shit that has happened throughout this year. It's like people have a lot of different views. Some people feel like the government has been adequate in its response to, you know, the pandemic, you know, or how they're handling this situation right there. Some people feel like it's not enough. And I think, what would the world be if it was structured differently? They say, you know, we're really only supposed to be used to living in villages of about 150 people. But they say you're really only supposed to know like 150 people like really well, and that you can know really well, and then, you know, everybody else, you know, is going to be kind of so. So it's a weird thing, I guess. I don't know how they figure that out. But what if life was like that? Would the world kind of be the same? I mean, because you would think, would the spread of information be the same if, you know, kind of, I guess, historically people lived that way? Would be as advanced as we are? What would we be if we were small pockets of communities within, you know, states, or I guess whatever you did, and I guess maybe, you know, cities were sectioned out? What was their cap limit? You know, would 150 people be in a spot? I think everybody knows it, but do you think the crime would be the same? I mean, you're all going to have a couple of bad apples, right? 150 people, I think there's that personal connection, right? And I don't know how it works. Maybe each district of 150 people has like a different skill. Anyway, let's get into it. Let's open the line. Y'all like, Hunch, what the fuck are you talking about, right? Look, I'm trying to solve the world's problems here. You got to work with me. But let's go ahead and get to the line. Give me just a second. Let me get everything set up. Look, I hope all of y'all are doing well, man. I thank y'all for being here. You could be anywhere in the world tonight, but tonight you're here with us, here in the den. Thank you. Congratulations. And something else that happened. I know. See, now something happened actually that before I get on the line, I definitely want to talk about. I think what they said is Breonna Taylor and her GoFundMe. I think was originally up for like 200,000. I think they said it's damn near at $1 million. What the? Why did I just read someone's text message that I probably sent? And I don't even know the context of the text message, but I know what's going on. And from the person who sent it, shame on you, right? Okay. Let's go ahead and get this line open. Good grief, maybe forget my whole thought. That was bad stuff, right? And damn, I had a little a little small tangent to go on, but fuck it. I'll remember later and we'll get back to it. Alright, spare me. Alright, let's get the number up there. Alright, cool, bet. All right. What's the motherfucking deal, man? Who we got calling in to the den this evening? All right.
All right. Had to make sure that motherfucking YouTube background noise wasn't on there.
Oh, okay.
Man, what's good, my nigga? That's prepaid.
Man, prepaid. How's life going, prepaid?
Man, life is going good, man. I was actually trying to get in the other day, man. Yeah, a lot of great calls. I'm not familiar with El Lobo and the other cat who called.
Mm.
Man, nigga was kicking some real knowledge, man. I don't know if y'all was missing that shit. He was really putting y'all on game, bro. Them two calls. It was the dude who called before El Lobo and then El Lobo. I'm not familiar with them two dudes. Whoever y'all are, man, call again because I learned a lot of stuff from y'all, too. So please keep calling in, bro.
Absolutely.
Man, let me start off because I ain't been able to call. I've been, dealing with the shit with my wife and stuff, man, with the baby and stuff. So let me start off and do it the right way. Because one thing has been lost in this whole thing. R.I.P. to George Floyd, man.
Right.
We done lost all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Now, from this tragedy, we have to say R.I.P. to David Dorn, man. And the worst part about David Dorn is David Dorn stands for everything that happens wrong in this country. Law-abiding citizen. That man gave the police department 38 years in a city like St. Louis. And for a lot of y'all who are not familiar, bro, St. Louis is a very, very high-crime city. Lots of crime. A person who withstood all that shit, and this is how he has his life taken from him. This is the most disgusting way to go out for anybody. Now, I heard a lot of y'all calling in. A lot of y'all was saying, y'all making comments about the rioting and all that type of stuff. But let's clear some up real fast because I want to be very clear on this shit because I don't want to leave no doubt. You have a right. Your constitutional right says you have a right to freedom of speech. You have a right to freedom of press. You have a right to peaceful protest. And you have a right to assemble. Nowhere in there does it say you have a right to riot and tear people's shit. Nowhere. Now let me tell y'all something about how this whole thing really works, okay? So for all y'all and oh my God, Black Lives Matter. Well, if it did, and what y'all telling me is true, then why the fuck ain't nobody talking about David Dorn? If you ain't doing the research, why you ain't heard about it? How come can't none of y'all in the chat tell me about the federal agent who got shot in Oakland?
Correct.
I've been telling y'all this shit for years now. Black lives only matter when there's a political agenda behind it. Because as long as it's Black lives killing Black lives, you ain't going to hear nothing.
Correct.
Nothing. Not a absolutely fucking peep from the media. If y'all don't think, and I've been telling y'all this, if y'all don't think that the media is the enemy of the people, why the fuck ain't none of y'all heard about COVID-19 over the last week? So the rioters stole the COVID out the air too? How convenient. How convenient. We went from having governors and senators telling you can't go outside, you can't go to work, you can't run your small business, but all of a sudden now, since they riot and tearing up shit, it's okay? They stand with the protesters? New York is the motherfucking epicenter of COVID-19. And and Andrew Cuomo saying he's standing with the protesters. How the fuck did that work? So if you want to go down here and tap these people's store and rob the Dior store, he's staying with you. But if you want to go to your business, you know what I'm saying, be a barber and cut hair and provide for your family because you can't qualify for a PPL loan, then all of a sudden you need to be arrested. So that's the problem. That's the problem. And y'all, I heard a lot of y'all say shit like, you know what I'm saying? And look, bro, everything is about skin in the game. I hear people say shit like, they don't hear us until we start tearing up shit. They still don't hear your black ass. You want to know why? Because they expect that activity out of you. The quote-unquote white supremacists y'all so scared of, this is how they view y'all. When things don't go your way, you're going to tab shit. You're going to burn up shit. You're going to have to plum ass food. And guess what? At the end of the day, you're going to have the same problems you're dealing with. I asked my grandfather about riding and you know, back then and, you know, stuff like that. You know what my grandpa told me? He said, son, riding is like drinking alcohol when you're going through something. You get real drunk, you feel like your pain going away, and you wake up the next day, you got the same fucking bills sitting right back in you looking at you. Them same problems you had ain't going nowhere. All y'all doing is tearing up shit. That's it. That's it. And one thing that's really opened my eyes, and it really sucks amongst black people, is because we fought so hard to not be monolithic. Correct. If y'all are not familiar with that, what that means is that to be our own individual, to have the power of choice. And every time something happens, y'all allow these fake black leaders and these fucking liberal white people to tell y'all that we got to all be on the same page for shit.
Correct.
I don't agree with you tearing up the city. I don't agree with you looting people's shit. I don't agree with it. That don't make me a coon. No, it means I don't fucking agree with that. Correct. I have the right to disagree with that shit. I have my God-given right to disagree. Now, the worst part of this whole thing is that these are the same people tearing up their own neighborhoods, and then they sit back and wonder why our communities turn to food deserts. Mm-hmm. Let me put you young, dumb niggas on game. While y'all tearing up Target in y'all neighborhood, you know why the CEO of Target gave that statement saying that he understands it's just a building can be replaced? Because he's going to get all his insurance money, and he has the ability to rebuild. What he didn't tell you dumb niggas is he ain't got to rebuild it in the south side. Correct. He can put his shit on the north side with the white people. The contract said he got to rebuild. The contract don't say where he got to rebuild. You take out Target from a neighborhood that's already struggling and don't replace it, watch all the food places go along with it. Business is dictated off of commerce, traffic, revenue. If your area doesn't produce none of that shit, you're going to look around and you're going to be stuck with a whole bunch of Popeyes and fucking Church's Chicken around you and soul food spots. But we can't tell y'all nothing because y'all have the young generation has decided if things ain't going how they want to, they're going to tab some shit. They're going to tab some shit. Ignorance. That's what that boils down to. Yep. Now, you said, do we need a government? Let me explain something to you. If you are a minority over the age of 18 and you don't have a gun, shut the fuck up by saying we don't need government. Shut the fuck up. You can't even defend yourself. Honcho, let me explain something to you. Why are the looters not attacking people's homes? Think about it. Because if you come into the wrong home, it's gonna be the last house you enter into ever. So you can rob Gucci, you can rob Dior, you can rob the Gap store. Ain't nobody in that motherfucker holding that Smith & Wesson. But if you come kicking my shit, I'm telling you, you're gonna have more holes in you than the motherfucking ghost on Halloween. I'm lighting your shit up.
Yeah, and that's the wild thing about it, man, because they are running regular. And I've seen, one or two little instances where you've seen store owners try to defend, their property, and you see a lot of niggas, mad that people are saying this. I have a theory, and I think it's because a lot of niggas that if you've never owned anything or you never tried to build anything, then you don't have a respect or understanding for these people. A lot of them, probably the majority of which are small businesses, who don't have the ability to bounce back and rebuild like the Targets and some of these big chain stores that are also getting looted and getting torn up. And what do you think it would take to make niggas respect what is being built? Do you think they'll just never care?
The only way, listen, when you don't have skin in the game, bro, like you say, you'll never understand something. A lot of people come to the den, bro, and of course we all respect you, but a lot of people don't understand what it takes to do what you're doing. They bitch and complain, oh, Honcho, you lazy. They don't understand what goes into it. They don't understand the problems that YouTube throws at you. They don't get all that shit because they've never put anything together. What's going to happen is the older they get, the more they start to realize it. But the most important thing to open these niggas' eyes is, did you hear about the bar owner in Iowa who killed that little black nigga?
Man, it was bar owner that's the one that shot him 19? Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah, it was the bar owner. So he the bar owner came in, and as soon as he busted shit came up in there, he called 4 to the chest. Yes, this is what you're gonna have to do. You can't reason with a person who only want to see the world burn. You can't reason with this person. You can't show these people that, hey, you know what? You are just tearing up shit. So you have to match force with force. In my personal opinion, and y'all gonna say I'm crazy when I say this shit, I hope Trump don't send in none of the military, none of them. Because Honcho, a couple of nights ago, I sent you a text message, and it was Chris Palmer. If you can, I want you to put it on the screen so everybody can see it. So I can give everybody a prime example of what's going on in America.
Give me just a second. Let me see. Pull that up real quick.
For those of you who don't know who Chris Palmer is, to give you some context. Chris Palmer is a writer for the NBA. Very rich guy, been working in the NBA for years. When the protesters were protesting in the hood, he was saying, burn it all down, burn all that shit down. And when the protesters and the looters got close to his hood, he called the cops, get them away from me, get these monsters away from my neighborhood, because guess what? It's always different when niggas is coming to your area.
Correct.
I listened to Killer Mike and T.I. talk all this bullshit about slave masters and burn down the slave master's home. And when them niggas came to Atlanta, Lord have mercy, this is Wakanda. Don't do that here. Don't do that here. I earn property here. Don't come here with that shit, bro. Don't come here with that shit, bro. Don't come over here with all that. See, it always, when the rabbit got the gun, it's never any fun.
Yeah.
This is how these people operate. I'm seeing on social media, my son showed me stuff on social media, where celebrities are signing petitions to defund police officers. Mm-hmm. To you young niggas, let me explain something to y'all. If any of y'all live in the hood, do you want to know why Lizzo and Janelle Monáe and Christy Teigen, why these people want to defund the cops? It's simple. They live in something called the Ivory Tower. Everywhere they go, they got security. Christy Teigen ain't never shot a gun in her life. She ain't got to. Every security guard with her got all kind of guns on them. Cops protect you. Cops serve you. They don't serve John Legend, Christy Teigen. There's a 0% chance that anybody can go rob them at any time of the day. They're going to have to go through and shoot 8 to 10 niggas to get there. But for you niggas, you regular niggas, y'all dead at the fucking at the crack of dawn. They'll light y'all neighborhood and y'all dead. Y'all letting these celebrities control things because they don't know how the real world works. They don't. These people don't know how it feels to be a regular human. Ain't no telling how long. The wild part was, bro, I don't know if you've seen it, but today they canceled Trina. They said Trina's canceled.
No.
Trina went off today on her radio show. Oh, yeah.
No,
Trina went off on her radio show.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
The baddest bitch said it how she's supposed to say it. She said, I'm tired of this Black Lives Matter bullshit. Y'all quick to ride for these movements and shit, but don't want to call a spade a spade. If Black Lives Matter so much, why y'all ain't protesting ride when my brother got killed? Y'all out here tearing up people's shit, looting and stuff, and she was mad because one of her best friends has a store that she built from the ground up. She goes, what they got to do with Black Lives when I go through and tap my best friend's store? And then Trick Daddy like, no, Trina, you wrong. You got money. That she got insurance. What the fuck insurance got to do with anything?
Exactly.
What is that proving? How does that black life mean more than the black lives who spent their life savings to build this company from the ground up? And of course, oh, Trina, you a coon. You know what I'm saying? You care about buildings. It's always different when it's not your money involved.
Correct.
People's grandparents in New York are crying, bruh. They done tore down people's business that been there for 40 and 50 years. Y'all are looting places that been there since 40 and 50 years. And it was so funny because when the looting happened, all I heard was, yeah, we going to tab Target, but we going to save all the black businesses. Yeah. You think these motherfuckers give a fuck about any of that shit?
Hell no, they fucking them up too. Talk about put a sticker on your door so they know it's a black owned business. What kind of shit is that?
Okay, you said that shit turned out. Yeah. You think a crackhead don't smoke crack on Sundays? Bitch, you smoke crack every day. Mike smoking twice on Sunday. They don't give a fuck about none of that shit, man. Y'all gotta understand something, bro. When you tap your own shit, let me back up. Anybody who lives in a suburban area who got a little bit of money, who done made it out the hood like myself, I'm gonna tell you how shit works. Y'all come and tap shit by my house. If you do it on a Tuesday, by Friday we got all new shit over here. It's like it never happened. They gonna clean all the paint off. They gonna do all that shit. You tap shit in the hood, 6 years from now, that same fucking spray painted sign gonna still be there.
Yep.
This is where you're supposed to learn to love your own shit. This is where you're supposed to learn to love your own shit. Fam, if y'all was tearing up Target and going in there and stealing things that you could use, hell, you know what? Truth be told, I'm gonna call a spade a spade. If y'all was using shit y'all could resell, I could respect that. Yeah. What is y'all gonna do when y'all stealing Dior and women clothing? What bitch in y'all hood finna pay y'all $800 for that sweater that you just stole? Who?
But you know what the wildest thing is?
Who?
To me, have you seen the couple of incidents where they turn on each other after they done looted the store?
Yeah.
They get out the store, they start fighting each other for the loot, like in the middle of the street.
But
like
this is gonna be the best part, and I wish black people would understand this shit. When you go in these department stores and you steal 2 Gucci belts, if it's over $1,000, that's a felony, boss. That's a felony. What y'all gonna do? Because first and foremost, you can't go to the hood and sell none of this shit. The Gucci belts cost $500. Ain't nobody in the hood finna give you $500 for a stolen belt. So what you gonna end up doing is you're gonna sell it online. When you sell it online, they're gonna track you, and that's how they're gonna get you. And and for any of y'all who ain't never been around law enforcement or never been around niggas who snitch, the nigga who they pick up first gets the best deal. They're gonna tell you, hey man, look, we know you did it. We're gonna give you a deal. Tell us who all was with you when you went and looted. If you tell us who was all with you, we're gonna drop the charges versus you. You can even keep your belt. You can keep your belt. And that's how they're gonna pick all these niggas up. Now, all these niggas who got felonies, let me explain to you how it's gonna happen, Honcho. Them niggas gonna get serious jail time. Yep. The Christy Teigens of the world, you ain't gonna hear from them. All these woke celebrities, none of them people gonna pay for your bond. They're gonna turn your back on you, and you're gonna get years in prison. They're gonna give you all the property damage charges, plus all the felonies that you got for selling stolen property. And majority of these niggas who are looting have criminal records. Right. Y'all going to prison. Chrissy Teigen gonna be on Twitter talking about what she cooked for her daughters. They make spaghetti and burnt the spaghetti pot. Y'all gonna be in prison. Because the wave right now is for everybody to be in solidarity with the looters and talking about this peaceful protest. America has seen enough. That's what they're telling y'all right now. But when the rubber meet the road, you ain't gonna hear from none of these people. It's cool to go out here and bond out the niggas who was robbed, who was breaking shit in the name of protesters and we just social injustices and all that shit. But when the rubber meet the road, you niggas' life is fucked. I guarantee it. Now, before I get off this phone, I need to address something that just eating me up for the last couple of days. Okay. Why do niggas live? Tell me this, Honcho, because I need you to help me walk me through this. Okay. Why do niggas live for the? How would I put this? They live for the approval of the white man. Mm-hmm. I will never get it. Everywhere I look, I got niggas saying, "Yeah, if you white, we know about your silence. Your silence speaks for itself." Correct. Why y'all so worried about them? Correct. Why? If they ain't the ones getting killed, why y'all worried about them? But then something happened. It backfired. Out of nowhere, every white person stood in solidarity. Yes. Now they don't know what to do. Now they blaming the white folks for hijacking the goddamn movement. Now they mad because every white person taking a knee. See, what y'all finna get right now, for y'all who don't work in corporate America, what y'all finna run into is called white guilt. Me, myself, I felt it before. Anybody's working with white people, you felt it. Every time it's happening in the news, they ask you about it. Hey, man, sorry to hear about such and such dying in the news. I'd be like, Timmy, I don't fucking know him. You don't have to apologize for her black. I don't fucking know him. Dog, when Kaepernick was going through a situation, I swear to y'all, every Monday, motherfucker, hey, man, what you think, man? You think Kaepernick get signed? I say, bro, Bill, I don't give a fuck about Cap getting signed, nigga. Get your fucking work done. Ain't nobody worried about that bullshit. Y'all beg for these white people approval, and guess what? Now they flipping the script on your motherfucking ass. Now every last white person is gonna kneel at every last sporting event. Oh yeah. Every last white person going white splaining and give white guilt and tell you about white privilege everywhere you go. Y'all beg for these white people attention. Now they're gonna be kneeling in Starbucks. This your fault, nigga. You can't even get a cappuccino now without motherfuckers kneeling and telling you, I'm so sorry, man, what happened to George Floyd, man. I'm so sorry, man. If it was me, man, I wish I would have been there. I could have stopped them. No. Thank yourself. This your fault, bitch.
So what about the niggas, and I'm glad Louis 17 mentioned it, what about the niggas stealing the phones? Like, why? I mean, if you're going to go out there and you're going to risk your life committing some of this stuff, like you would think they would think ahead. If you got niggas robbing Apple stores, knowing that that's probably the world's most tracked device, as much as a hot commodity as it is, why ain't these at least thinking ahead?
Because Hunter, here's the thing. We live in a country that's filled with dumb criminals. That's all it is. They got a whole show called First 48. They never have any evidence. We're just waiting for y'all to tell on yourselves. So what you think gonna happen? Every corner you turn in a major city, there's a camera and a street light. Right now it's chaos. Right now it's chaos. They can't catch everybody. Niggas in Philadelphia was putting off explosions and stealing ATM machines.
Yeah. Oh man. Wow.
So all that is fine. But here's the problem, though, Honcho. When you steal an ATM machine, you got to put it in a vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to do when the camera catches the license plate?
Exactly.
Bro, you're going to federal prison. So what happens is that right now y'all telling me that this the way to get their attention. Now when all the crime when the crime shit come back, ain't gonna be nobody holding their fist up for you. Ain't nobody in solidarity no more. So you gotta understand how America works. Because of social media, we get our media instantly, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Instantly. Like as soon as it happens, we get it. But what happens is after you get it instantly, you forget shit instantly also.
Correct.
That's why until I mentioned the COVID, most niggas in the chat was like, shh. Damn, nigga, I just thought about it. Nigga ain't mentioned the COVID in a while, man. I guess we good now.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we straight. Guess we straight. And for anybody who don't understand the political things of what's going on with this whole situation, let me tell y'all something. Let me put y'all on game real quick. Democratic leaders have already come out and said the game plan was to keep everybody in the house for as long as possible. They was extending the stay-at-home orders because if the economy was fucked up, that was a leg up on Trump. They have self-sabotaged themselves. By them telling everybody that I stand with the protesters, guess what? You can't do mail-in ballots no more. The Band-Aid's ripped off. So one or two things got to happen for y'all to even halfway vote for Joe Biden. Either every nigga finna overrun the goddamn hospitals from the COVID, or if this motherfucking hospital ain't overran because everybody got the motherfucking coronavirus, they fucking lied to y'all. They ruined your economy. They ruined your job, and they lied to you. Mm-hmm. One or two things.
And it's really interesting because, and I'm going to jump back to the protest real quick. I don't know if it's something that people realize. If you check your phone, there's a new little setting on there, especially if you're Android. I'm not sure what the iPhone is. But it says COVID-19 tracing, right? And you have these people going out in mass. So, I mean, they're already tracing you, and you running out there with your phone, looting and busting up the store. Like, I don't think people realize how many ways that you are being watched. You may not think so because you may not think you big time with it, but I mean they have ways to find out who's doing what, because like I said, with these phones interacting with each other where they are, they're gonna know you were there.
Exactly. And see, the thing about it is that one thing, and I figure that black people in America will understand something by now. You can tap them white people shit, but somebody gonna be held accountable. There are no unsolved mysteries that are crimes that are committed by black people. They gonna find you. Trust me. Whatever it takes, whatever amount of money it takes, whatever amount of research, amount of resources, they're going to find your black ass. They're going to find you. So while you out here doing all this shit, remember when the clock hits and the motherfucking SWAT come kick in your house, they don't care about the Gucci belts you stole. You create you create over $100,000 in damage. That's how they jam you, bro. Yeah. That's how they get you. You have no way to pay. You have no way to pay restitution. You got to go to prison now. You got to go. There's no way around it. There's no way around it. And I'm thinking to myself, surely these niggas know this already because they've been to prison before. Like, you got to know this shit because you're a criminal. Like, if you're gonna be a career criminal, you just got to be halfway good at it. No, terrible criminals. Terrible criminals. I agree. You're stealing from places that got the most sophisticated security systems and the most cameras. Do you know how face recognition works? Listen, it's a terrible idea. It was a terrible idea. And for me, as a person who loves America and loves being in the freest country in the world, I hope they throw the motherfucking book at every last one of them niggas. I don't want to hear about he was only 17. No, he'll get out when he's 47. Yes, throw the book at him. Throw the motherfucking book at him. And I'm not going to get into the legal side of the charges against the officers who killed George Floyd. All I'm going to tell y'all is, once reasonable doubt is established, y'all, there's going to be a lot more rioting in America because y'all ain't going to like it. When I break down how this whole thing works, y'all are not going to like what I'm going to tell y'all. Now, you might get lucky. They might find a guilty verdict for them. They got their motherfucking hands full. You finna have your motherfucking hands full, y'all. It sucks because, as you know, Honcho, I know you heard about the guy in Beaumont who the cops put the knee on him a couple days ago.
No, in Beaumont, no, I don't think I heard that one.
Yeah.
Nah.
Domestic violence thing happened in Beaumont a couple days ago, man. The cops come out, draw the guns on the guy. I guess he was beating his girlfriend up or whatever the case may be, and the cop put the same move on it with the knee. And as you know, like I know, and from watching Cops, that knee on the upper back neck area, I've seen that move done hundreds of times.
Yeah.
Cops have been taught to do this move, y'all. And if Minnesota PD has taught him how to apprehend a suspect that way, he can't be held accountable for that.
Sure.
That's why they fired him. If the cops fire a cop, if the police fire the cop that fast, it's a procedural reason behind it. They're trying to protect themselves. They scapegoated that white boy. And it's cool right now, but a jury of his peers, can you really say he had the intent to kill George Floyd? Can you really say that? When we get the toxicology report back and they say that he has X amount of drugs in the system, can you really say he had the intent to kill him? I'm just asking the question.
Yeah.
I don't care about your emotions. I'm giving from a factual standpoint. Can you really say that? Can you really say the 4 officers they arrested with the white boy who killed George Floyd, that they had the intent to aid and abet a murderer? Really? That's what their intent was. If you scratch your head right now and say, man, I don't know, prepaid, that nigga gonna be home next year.
That's tough. I mean, but it makes a lot of sense. Okay.
The state has the burden of proof. The state has the burden to prove what he did was murder, not him. All they gotta do is establish reasonable doubt. Now, if you want to tell me it's manslaughter, by all means, that nigga's guilty of manslaughter every day of the week. Murder, and then they move it up to second degree? Man, y'all finna be some disappointed motherfuckers around here. I'm telling y'all. It's finna... And once they create the reasonable doubt with the other officers by them aiding and abetting the murderer, bruh, it's hard for a jury to be like, man, I think we finna make a mistake if we convict this guy. I'm telling you. It is what it is. Same thing with Trayvon Martin. When you overcharge these criminals, these guys who've been charged, you overcharge them, they walk. And the state knows that, but they want their name in law books. They want their name to be remembered in history as I was the DA who convicted him. Okay, cool. Cool. You got any questions for me, Honcho?
I got one question for you, man. You know, they canceled the man today, Drew Brees. You got any thoughts on that?
Yeah. They canceled Drew Brees for the same reason they canceled Trina. Y'all got to get away from it's called mob mentality, y'all. Drew Brees feels the way he feels about the American flag and the protest because of who his grandfather and his father who served in the military. He has the same stance since the beginning of time. Y'all are canceling this man because of the way he feels that he stands on his laurels. It don't matter if you agree with his laurels. The fact that he stands on it makes him more of a man than any other people who are out here just jumping, flipping, all of a sudden they was, I hate Kaepernick, now all of a sudden I kneel with Cap. Yeah. Those are the fraud people. The people who stand on what they believe in, bro, those are the people who are leaders. Now, again, Honcho, understand something. You can cancel Drew Brees in June. Bitches, you gonna cancel him in September is the question.
No, absolutely not.
Because if you walking around calling him Breezes and Jesus and all that shit they call him in New Orleans, I guarantee you ain't gonna feel that way. Because the first Sunday kickoff, look how many number 9 jerseys is gonna be in that stands. I guarantee it's gonna be the number 1 jersey in them stadiums. I don't give a fuck if a person hates black people. I don't care if they hate white people. If you stand on your laurels and that's how you feel, you ain't gonna change for nobody else. I can respect that. And when I beat your ass, at least you stood by your morals.
Correct.
So Drew Brees is telling you, I'm not gonna get away from that. You're not gonna shake the way I feel about something. I'm not passionate about the American anthem, national anthem. I don't give a fuck about that shit. That's just me. But that's just me as a nigga. If that's how he feels about it, why should he not be able to stand on his laurels? Yeah. Drew Brees has donated more money, has given more time, has done more for the city of New Orleans than probably every politician all put together. Yeah. But because he's not going to take a knee during the national anthem, y'all want to cancel him? Come on, man. Stop this. Mob mentality, bro. Before y'all know it, y'all ain't gonna, none of y'all better have an opinion. Everybody gonna go with the masses. They're gonna tell you how you supposed to think, how you supposed to drink, how you supposed to look, how you supposed to sleep at night. You're gonna lose yourself. Get away from mob mentality. Council culture is going to ruin America. I'm telling y'all. Before y'all know it, we're gonna be like the motherfucking Chinese communist country.
Oh yeah.
We eat the same thing every day. We go to the same places every day. We can't get on certain websites. We can't eat certain shit. Prepare yourself.
Yeah, we on the way.
So it is what it is, man. Thanks for letting me get in tonight, Honcho, man. I'm gonna hop in the chat with the fellas and the ladies.
Already, man. Prepaid. I appreciate you getting the party started, man. Thank you for calling in.
No problem, bro.
All right, good evening. Okay. A lot of stuff going on. What's the motherfucking deal, man? Who we got calling into the den this evening? Hello.
Is that Ed Honcho Frosty?
Frost, what's the motherfucking deal, man? How you been, man? What's going on?
I've been good. I've been good. Just same old stuff.
Okay.
Yes,
Well,
bro. Yes, bro. What were you about to say?
I was saying, what are your thoughts on government? Some of the things that have been going on around the last few months, or maybe a lot this year. We've seen in previous things too. But do you feel like government is necessary? Do you think people could form a successful society without it, or what would you do to change the current government if you had the power to do so?
Well, as far as government goes, what you just said before, like about can people govern themselves in this in today's current society with the whole cancel culture and the whole cancel culture, the sensitive snowflakes, everything be over the PC. Absolutely not. It'd be chaos. It'd be chaos. It'd be anarchy. All the other stuff. Let's just say, like I said, look, me personally, like I said, I really don't. I like to think of myself. I'm allergic to politics because I really don't like to get into that type of stuff because politics, in my opinion, politics is nothing but lies, air, and deception.
I can't disagree with you on that one. Because I have a particular feeling towards politics. I mean, I understand they play whatever role now, but what do you think it would take to, 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 to get politicians to operate more efficiently? Let's put it like that.
Politicians are, let's just say, like I said, you see, politicians are mostly kind of like cars, as I see it, because they're built. Politicians are kind of like cars because they're filled with nothing but gas because they're nothing but gas, and it's like the more you fill them up, the more they'll do. And when I say fill them up, I mean boost their ego, boost their morale, pretty much boost their profits. Because that's all they pretty much care for. They don't give a fuck. They don't give a flying fuck about us. But me on the other hand, the only thing I pretty much ask for if we do have a government, I pretty much just ask for two things. One, I ask for order, and two, I ask for justice. And when I say I ask for order, it's pretty much like order. All that pretty much, like I said, pretty much good. It's pretty much people good. Pretty much order is pretty much just two things. One, people go on the way they do, and two, the bad people go away. And I also want justice. And no, I don't mean this as just strictly a black or white thing. When I say justice, regardless of what color you are, if you do something wrong, you're gonna get punished. You're gonna get punished to the fullest extent of the law. And someone who looks like me, and plus, I just want to walk down the street without worrying about getting a bullet in my ass.
I feel you on it, no. Do you think that a society being armed is a safer society?
Only if it's in the right hands, because there's been so many. Only if it's in the right hands, because nowadays about 98% gun, like I said, pretty much whether it's a police officer or just some dude in the street. There are so many times where a gun is in, the guns and the weapons. It's always in the wrong. It's always in the wrong hands. They try. It was in the wrong hands, because that's pretty much how the government works. They try to sit, but they try to sit good people on bad people, or sometimes bad people on bad people. But sometimes they just let good guys die.
Do you have any thoughts on what else has been going on? Some of the additional fallout, from what has happened, some of the protests, some of the people who've kind of hijacked the protests and turned it into riots. Do you have any thoughts on that, or kind of what the status of the world today?
Well, as far as the riots goes, what I pretty much have to say about that is the riots. This is really no different than what happened back. This is really no different than what happened back in the mid '90s. The whole LA riots, because what happened then and happened right now, it's pretty much the same thing. It's pretty much the same thing. Cop beats up innocent cop beats up innocent person. Nobody does anything about it, and people flip out. And the only way it's going, and you know how those riots stop. Justice was served. And the only way these riots gonna stop, at least for the time being, is just. That pretty much is justice. And plus, that whole thing about what Drew Brees said earlier. I'm also gonna admit I'm not really too much keen on what he said. But like that last caller said before, that pretty much proves my point when I said this. I pretty much agree with him when he said this whole cancel culture is stupid. Because that pretty much shows the whole thing about the whole overly sensitive PC culture. Because it's like nobody knows how to take criticism. Nobody knows how to take anything. It's basically like you either nowadays to get through to anyone, you either have to be a robot. You can no longer be yourself. You either have to be a robot or you have to be a sheep, which is just wrong. I mean, sure you don't have to agree with somebody, but then again, just because they don't say what you want to hear does not make it wrong.
I agree, and I think that's a part of the problem that we have now. I think you have so many people who've grown up spoiled and entitled, never told no, always getting away and getting what they want. They've become adults, and then when they get into a situation where you have to have a conversation with somebody and a disagreement arises, they don't know how to respond to that accordingly. Initially they may start off sounding normal, but as the more you disagree, the worse off they get until they almost flip their shit. And it's something that I've noticed a lot with some of the younger you get, the worse off. I'd say more with the Generation Z, I would say. I had to learn the difference between some of these generations the other day. But yeah, man, it's wild. So do you think that everything will be all right for Breeze, or do you think that he's going to take a major hit? Do you think that that the Saints will do anything with him?
Well, I don't really know. Well, I wouldn't really count on that. And also, this Drew Brees thing. I mean, he may take a hit with some of the fans, but then again, you know as well as I do that as soon as football season comes around, all is going to be forgiven.
Absolutely, yeah.
Especially if it gets into the playoffs.
Yeah. Oh yeah. As long as you winning, like winning cures all wounds. They don't care as long as you winning games. Shit, they don't give a damn. You know what I'm saying? And so that's just kind of what it is. I don't think he's gonna have any long-lasting impact on him after that. So it is what it is. Okay. Anything else that's on your mind there, Frost, man?
Well, like I said before, as far as this whole do we need a government thing, in some cases it's really kind of like yes, we do need a government, but that's the thing. The government that we have right now, that is not gonna work. It's because that's pretty much the government that we have right now. It's not working right. It's not working right now. It's not because we have a tycoon. It's not because we have a tycoon as a president who really doesn't know what to say or when to shut his mouth. And pretty much the halls of Congress is nothing but a bunch of clowns in suits, as it's always been. Yes, like I said, and I'll leave you with this. You see, when it comes to government, there's always this. The government is always like this pivot where it's like on one hand you have order, and on the other hand you have chaos. and pretty much the government's job, they always try to tilt the pivot into balance. But the problem is in situations like this, with everything that's going on, which the George Floyd thing, the coronavirus, and all that other stuff. It seems like everything there's less order and more chaos, and unless something changes, that's how it's gonna be. Thanks for the call. Punch. All right. I'll let you.
It's John from New York. Can you hear me okay?
I guess I had myself muted. I apologize. I told Frost adios. And yes, Mr. John, how you doing this evening, sir?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing well. No complaints. How
I got a new headset. I was wondering if you can hear me okay.
Yeah, I got you.
Right. Well, what's going on?
So, what are your thoughts on Drew Brees? Let's start off with a little bit of sports. We don't normally talk sports in the day. Let's talk about a little bit of sports. What are your thoughts on Drew Brees?
All right, when we finish talk sports tonight.
I got the shirt on. We ready to go?
What's up, prepaid? What do I think about Drew Brees? I think he looks at the glass half full versus half empty.
Mm-hmm.
When he says that he'll never disrespect the American flag, it doesn't mean that he is unaware of injustices that occur in America. What he's basically saying is any progress that we've made it under the American flag. Not the injustices we have were necessarily kept under the American flag. So he looks at the American flag as a symbol of progress, not a symbol of hatred. So he looks at it as glass half full, not the glass half empty. And unfortunately, a lot of American black people don't feel very patriotic about America in a sense because this land over the last 400 years has done a lot of horrible things to African Americans. But where the issue is that we're not talking to each other and we're talking past each other is that we both see the same thing, but we just explain it differently. So, like I said, he sees a glass half full. Someone else sees a glass half empty. The glass is 50% full, whichever way you look at it. So I think I admire Prepaid was right. I agree with him. I admire him for standing on his morals. We're in a culture where they want to cancel you, assassinate you, take all your money. They want your wife to divorce you. They want your kids to say you're the worst person in the world. They never want you to get a job again. And this man, being such a high-profile figure, was like, you know what? Fuck you. I'm going to stick to my morals. And you don't understand me. It's not that I don't understand you.
Correct. Yeah, and actually, you got to respect it. Whether you agree or disagree, you got to respect that. So some wild things have been happening. Fallout from the riots.
When niggas get to looting,
and
prepaid got to
cities,
shooting.
Man, and I know you seem to be a person who keeps up with the news. What is the worst story that you've heard? Falling out of these riots.
I'm sorry, what you said? I was laughing at Prepaid's comment.
Oh shit! I messed up. See, I turned my head. Appreciate your love, Prepaid. When niggas get to loot, Prepaid get to shoot. But I forgot my damn comment. But what's the worst story that you heard? Out of the last few days, say over the weekend, the last few days of
stories,
fall from the riots.
These stories of all these people getting killed. It seems to be predominantly black people that were minding their business or trying to help restore order. I saw an elderly white couple getting beat with 2x4s.
Wow. Yes.
I saw that white guy in Dallas that had the sword that supposedly was trying to defend something. I don't know, whatever it was. I don't know whether he deserved it or not because I don't know the full story. Well, I shouldn't say deserved it. I don't know if he brought it onto himself or not. I don't know the full story, but the fact that I saw the video and I saw him laying there like that, it just traumatized me.
Yeah, I thought he was dead.
Yeah, me too. He looked discombobulated and dead.
Yeah.
It's just all these stories, and I said it the other night, and I was saying it to a friend of mine. Over the past week, more innocent black people have died than like the past maybe 6 months from police brutality, maybe the past year. It's just, I think it's worth like 6 or 7 that I've seen already, and it's just like they were minding their business or they were trying to help, they were being good people. it just makes no sense to me. It's just to me it's like pouring salt in a wound. People get, it's just, people are saying, oh well, sometimes people have to rage, and this is what happens. This is what happens when built up frustration happens. And I said, okay, but is this the best way to do it? Like, take that rage, and I'm not condoning violence, but why don't you take that rage and apply it more efficiently somewhere? We were talking about Black Wall Street 2 days ago because it was the anniversary of Black Wall Street. There's a lot of events in history that happened where when someone felt like they wanted justice, they went directly to certain sources where they felt they would get that justice from or that revenge. And going into any neighborhood and killing innocent people that had nothing to do with it or don't have the power to change anything for you is not efficient. Going to the White House is efficient. Going to the courthouse is efficient. Going to the governor's house, the mayor's house, the DA's house, that's efficient. Going to Foot Locker or a pawn shop and then shooting a man that dedicated his life to protecting his neighborhood so you wouldn't be a victim of police brutality, and you shoot him in the back of the fucking head. That was somebody's father, grandfather.
Yeah, it's a wild situation, man. When I saw the video and I saw him laying there, man, I was fucking sick to my stomach. It really was, because it was just like, you're looking at this, and regardless of if you feel like, fuck the police or whatever side you on, this man wasn't out there in the same situation. He wasn't out there in riot gear. He wasn't, shooting anybody in the face with tear gas cans or anything like that. He was just trying to protect something, continue doing something he's been doing for quite a long time, and helping out friends of his by helping protect their store. And again, like I said, nothing in that store would have been worth it, but but a couple of fucking TVs from a pawn shop, and this is what you kill this man over. It blows my mind that.
Yeah, and there was a young girl, 22 years old, named Italia. She got struck by a stray bullet and died in the back. Wow. David Dorn was the retired police chief at the precinct at the pawn shop. There was somebody got run over by a FedEx truck because they were I don't know if they're trying to loot it or get away or what, but it's just another gentleman got supposedly shot by the police because they felt someone was firing at them. I mean, a U.S. Marshal got shot in the head. It's just like I said, the rage is not being dedicated in the right areas. And as far as the businesses, they have insurance, they can just rebuild. Businesses typically have very high deductibles because it's cheaper on the monthly premium for the insurance. So they might have a $50,000 or $100,000 deductible, or even a $10,000 deductible for a small business, and that's a lot, especially when you haven't had any business the past 2 or 3 months because the coronavirus shut down. And then on top of that, it's not like you can go back to work tomorrow. You have to rebuild your store, so now you don't have. So it's like you got to come up with that 10, 20, 100 grand, whatever it is, out of your pocket at first. I want to say rest in peace to Tony Timpa. That's the man I sent you the video of. You probably didn't check it out yet because you didn't know what I was talking about when I sent you the message. So this is a white man who 4 years ago had Dallas police sitting on his back with both knees, or full weight of the officers. He was on his stomach, facing the ground. He was a mental health patient. They made fun of him the whole time when he kept saying, "I can't breathe." He ended up dying because they kneeled on his back for 14 minutes straight as he was crying, "I can't breathe." When his mother got to the morgue, it's all on camera. A black police officer sat there and watched this all happen. So everyone was saying that Chinese guy is a piece of shit for watching it. A black man who understands the struggle better than anybody else in this country when it comes to quote-unquote police brutality sat there and watched. When his mother, Tony Timpa's mother went to the morgue to identify his body, he had nostrils in his mouth and throat full of dirt and grass. That's how hard they pushed him into the ground. Body cam footage was released last year, and no one said anything so far. You don't even know who his name is. You don't know where it happened. You don't even know of a guy that, nothing. And I was talking to somebody about it, and I'm like, I know there's this fallacy that Black Lives Matter is trying to make up, and it's really to continue white liberals to be the savior of black people, as if black people can't help themselves, or as black people always are not as far advanced as they really are. It's always, So I went and I did some research because I was talking to Real Talk, was talking with you guys, talking to some of my friends about police brutality and the numbers, and I looked up the numbers and I did a lot of research. And last year, in 2019, the amount of people that were shot unarmed, no gun, by race, black people, 28. White people, 51. Last year, allegedly armed, shot by police, 202 black, 293 white. Last year, unclear if they were armed and shot by police, black, 9, white, 38. 2019, death by a bullet when the gunman was allegedly armed, black, 201, white, 291. 2019, unarmed and only by bullet they were killed, not by a taser or being choked out or anything like that. Black, 23, white, 39. Every single statistic that no matter how you break it down, more white people were killed than black people. And it's going to sound fucked up, but at one point I was cheering, like, please let me get a number higher for black people. Like, let me just see, prove me wrong that I'm crazy for thinking, that Black Lives Matters isn't a real thing. And I could not find one statistic where black people had a higher number than white people when it came to the police statistics. A police officer is 18.5 times more likely to be killed by a black man than a black man is to be killed by a police officer. I could not, and I went to mappingviolence.org and I went to statistica.com. I could not find one piece of information that debunked my belief that Black Lives Matter is just an organization to control people who think they're victims. Not one.
Mr. John.
Yes.
Would you like to? I know you've been looking for, a debate for a little while. Apparently, Professor Trill would like to get in on the call.
Okay, that'd be cool.
Okay, give me just one moment, please.
Yeah, sure.
Looking Trill abusing his fucking moderator powers. You're harassing Miss Grace Trillard. Cease with the abuse. Damn it, I gotta physically punch in numbers. Alright, let me see. I know that's what I'm double check.
I was gonna call, but never mind now.
Okay, cool. And I appreciate the love. Dad, the man says he's gonna call, but not never mind.
What up?
Hello, gentlemen. Are we both here?
Hola, gentlemen.
Oh, John.
Okay.
Sometimes, John. Sometimes you act like you know what you're doing, dog. You did this shit on purpose. First of all, I'm not going to argue the validity of any of the numbers you just stated, because they're probably right and they're accurate, because I trust you, John. But you do know that the white percent of the population is 3 times as large as the black population, right?
Yes.
So the likelihood of those numbers being accurate is probably really, really high. But even when the majority of the population is white, even some of those numbers are similarly close for no goddamn reason.
Well, I looked into that too, and then what I've also found was that certain types of crimes that usually involve guns and weapons, like murder, armed robbery, grand larceny, rape, that the black community tends to be at 5 to 8 times greater. So to me, in my mind, that's what made up the disparity in terms of percentage of population versus the amount of deaths by the police.
Right, but I also want you to take a couple of things into consideration. And everybody in here that's black will know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. See, this is the disconnect between the numbers and the actual facts, because the numbers can be skewed. I will admit that, and I just showed you how they were skewed. Honcho, how many niggas you know, the most hardcore gangsters you know, brave enough to shoot at the police?
Whew, not too many, man. It's a couple.
My point exactly. Now, you coming on here saying that black people are 18 times more likely to shoot at a policeman than a policeman ought to shoot at them, that shit ain't true. Second of all, you also have to take into... hold on a second. Let me get the other point out, then I'll let you rebut. The second thing is, okay, we do commit those crimes, but we also get caught and convicted of those crimes more often. Now, if you just pay attention to what's going on daily, we could just take the video the other day. The white lady just started screaming some bullshit, saying she was going to call the police, said the black man did this, the black man did that. How many times these niggas get caught and fucking convicted or even tried of the shit that they didn't even fucking do? Black people going to get the police called on them regardless of how minor the shit that they doing is. White folks, they get away with a lot of shit. They get a lot of leeway with a lot of shit. Because black people ain't really into calling the police on white people because we mind our fucking business. Sometimes a little too much. But we mind our fucking business. So, of course, the police is going to be a hell of a lot harder on us because we get called on more than anybody. Did you look up the stat to that? Yeah, I don't know if it is one, but I'm pretty sure that we dominate that. What kind of race what kind of description the person fits that get the police called on them. I guarantee you it's going to be predominantly black.
Well, I mean, I guess somebody could assume, well, if the black population is committing certain crimes at a higher rate, then black people would get the police called on them for those crimes at a higher rate. But in regards to the 18.5 times, I would imagine that number, I won't say manipulated, but it was shrunk down to where it looks, it might be 1.85 more, but then when they did it per capita down to 10,000, but I still believe that they're more likely to get shot than one way or the other. It might not be 18.5, it might be 1.85, but if you change the decimal point, you change the numbers per capita, it makes it look more, it's not a false number, but it makes it look worse than it really is. It makes it sound bigger, 18.5. One thing I will say, and I've always said this, is one thing where I do agree in regards to black people and police brutality is I do believe that if a white person commits a crime, there's times when it'll take longer to arrest the white person than it would take to arrest a black person. So that's one thing that I do agree when I hear black people say.
Why do you think that?
I think it's two things. I think it's that when it comes to certain types of crimes, they'll give more white people the benefit of the doubt. And I think also a lot of times when, and I might sound really rude saying this, but a lot of times when black people commit crimes, they don't really plan them out as well as other races. So I think it's a combination of not planning it out well and then also giving somebody who's white or not black the benefit of the doubt a little bit. And I think it also depends let me just finish add one thing. It also depends on what state you live in, who your DA is. Are you in a really conservative state when it comes to police? Are you more liberal? I think it also plays with that.
Yeah, so since you do understand and you also perceive, as well as I have, that black people don't tend to plan out their criminal activity very well, wouldn't you also understand that they will get caught more often than the people who do plan their criminal activity very well?
Yeah, I could see that.
So would you think that would show a higher influx in the numbers that you speak of?
I think what it would show is that people who are committing crimes are getting caught, and some people that are committing crimes are getting away with it.
Right.
But right, and so that would be more of a like legal system in terms of like getting justice, in terms of like not going to jail for something or going to jail for something. But in terms of police pulling over a black guy or a white guy and saying, oh, they shoot the black guys more, that in my opinion is not true. Those numbers I have a high level of confidence in. But in terms of other areas of the justice system where you're alluding to, yeah, I agree with you. I believe there can be some injustices.
What I'm basically saying is the fact that we're more prone to having involvement with the police than white folks. Would you agree to that?
Okay, yes, and then I would say to that is, I agree with you, and even if I agree with you, then why is it Black Lives Matters? If Asian people have a little bit of involvement, and if white people have even more, and Hispanics have a little bit more, and blacks have the most, why not just include everybody and say, let's fix it for everybody? Because if you in this country, if you believe that white people have the power, well, then it would be beneficial to bring white people into it and use their power, because the white people are going to say, well, we don't want to get killed by the cops either.
Correct. But you also have to first admit that there's a problem with the cops and black people. They wouldn't even admit that there's a problem.
Well, from talking to people who are white and also Hispanic, they don't have a problem with admitting that black people don't get treated fairly by the police. What they're saying is they feel that everybody gets treated unfairly by the police. Black people have their set of gripes with the police. Hispanics have theirs. Whites have theirs. Asians have theirs. They might overlap. So one might be way worse than the other, but they feel like, why turn a blind eye to someone else's injustices because someone else's injustices are a little bit different or a little bit stronger? Let's say all lives matter, and let's combat everything together.
No, sir. Let me explain this to you like this. To put it in a way that'll be more easy for you to digest. Say, for instance, me, Honcho, and Prepaid, right? Since he got his little coon ass off the phone, I'll deal with you later, Prepaid. We all brain surgeons, right? So me, Prepaid, and Honcho, we sitting down to a lunch and we talking about, okay, like you know, what do you do? Like, what do you think? Like, should we start with a drug for brain cancer? Like, is there like a procedure, like some kind of something that, you know, we could do to try to maybe catch it a little bit quicker or something like that? And so we just sitting up here talking about that shit. And then you, Mr. John, you approach the table and say, hey, what's going on? And we were like, oh, no, man, we were just talking about brain cancer, what we do. And you was like, yeah, I feel the same about testicular cancer. And I'm like, oh, okay, all right, cool. And so we start talking about it again, and you be like, yeah, but what y'all think we should do about testicular cancer? We're like, well, hold up, bro. We talking about brain cancer right now. We not talking about testicular cancer. That's bad, but we talking about this. This is what we're involved in. This is what we do on the daily. We don't know shit about testicular cancer. So you coming in and try to insert a whole different conversation than the one we're having is the problem.
Well, in regards to the brain cancer, you're saying brain cancer, and I'm saying, what about testicular cancer? I'm not. What I'm saying, what I feel like Black Lives Matters is saying, well, what about black people with brain cancer? And I'm saying, well, what about white people with brain cancer? What about Hispanics with brain cancer? I'm sticking to brain cancer. I'm just saying everybody gets brain cancer, so why not work for a cure for everybody? Because what cures the white person from brain cancer will cure the black person from brain cancer, and vice versa.
No, you switched the whole analogy on me. What I'm saying is what we know and what we deal with on a daily basis is what we know. You don't know nothing about what we're talking about because it's different between what we know and what you know. That's what I'm saying. See, you're not in deep into this shit. So what we're conversing is the people that are in it, that do have, let's just say, you know what I'm saying, a dog in the fight in this instance, which not saying that you don't have fights and struggles of your own, because you do. But if you have a problem, then you coming and telling us about your problems and not the people who you have a problem with is the deal. Now, what we're saying is we've been trying to handle this problem on our own. We tried the peaceful way. We tried like a motherfucker. That shit has not worked. It has not got us anywhere. Nowhere at all. And then when we told people what was going on, nobody believed us. They was like, nah, y'all just making it up. It's bullshit. So it just kept happening and happening. Well, now it started to get recorded. Then as soon as we start showing, well, here's the proof. Then here will come the excuses. Well, we don't know what happened. We don't know what he did. He might have deserved it. He should have just complied. It was always some kind of excuse that you would have to give them for the reactions that they had. So I'm like, okay, since y'all want
Right,
to talk about.
And the reason why that was happening is because and I blame a lot of the media for that, is that when you watch a video on CNN, it's always an edited video, and then the video that comes out later shows a lot more to the story, and people it's like the boy who cried wolf. They're like, oh fuck this, I've seen this story 1,000 times. I've seen this movie 1,000,000 times. I already know every word to it. And it's like in regards to testicular cancer, in regards to someone in the chat room said, you don't water down everyone's house if just one house is on fire. But what I'm saying is I believe everyone's house is on fire. I think some people have a 5-alarm fire, some people have a 2-alarm fire, but everyone's house is on fire. If everyone's house was not on fire, then I can understand not watering everyone's house. But I think, and maybe I view this incorrectly, I think we both agree that there's some issues with every race, and when it comes to the police, some issues overlap, some issues are completely different. And I'm just saying is why not throw it into a basket and try and get it fixed? I think that if we all work together, no one's going to feel slighted. If we're united, we'll be stronger. Unfortunately, anything that has a strong presence like the White House, Congress, the police department, the fire department, it's tough to instill change because they're they're a powerhouse. So yeah, it's taken a long time. Everything in this country that has been great has taken a long time. Unfortunately, that's the way it is.
That's not good enough.
I hear you.
And that's what we're saying. That's not good enough. And we've been saying it for decades. That's not good enough. And
I would say this. Do you think
supposed to accept it? No, absolutely not.
No, I'm not saying accept it. What I'm saying is understand that change takes time. It doesn't happen overnight.
How much time does it take? It's been hundreds of years. How much time does it take?
I hear you. I agree with you 100%. It's taking too long. I agree with you. I feel like, and I'm not saying this about you, but I feel like sometimes when black people talk to me, they think like my white privilege, I snap a finger and I can change the world because I'm white. I'm nobody to the U.S. government. I'm just another person. If I step out of pocket, they whack me just as quick as anybody else. I know that I have quote unquote white privilege over a black person, but I don't have power in the sense of I can't snap my finger and make things change tomorrow. And same thing for you. So I feel your frustration. It's taken too long. I agree with you. But the only thing I can do is the same thing a lot of people can do is make our voices heard, be a good person, let everyone know that, what you think and talk and then elect politicians and this and that. And I know that it feels like it's not working. I think it is, but it's a very slow process. I mean, it took how many years for black people just to get civil rights? That should have happened from day one. It took too long, but it happened. I agree with you. If I could snap my fingers today and make things different, I would. I promise you. But there's nothing I can do any more than the next human being.
Now, I want to interject just a second here, and not saying to ruin anything, but do y'all notice, den folk, and both the gentlemen in the call, these two gentlemen have a disagreement, and I don't think there was one disrespectful term used toward one another throughout the entire conversation. I think they politely.
I did call Prepaid a coon, though.
Well, I mean, he's not a participant.
But that was said jokingly. That was said in jest. Prepaid, you still my nigga.
In this current conversation. But we're talking about the participants in this current conversation. And so, ladies, take note. Things can be solved amicably.
Damn,
I love y'all ladies, again, everybody, we all try to be friends at the end. We may not all be friends, but, I'm here for y'all. I want to see y'all's problems solved. So just take some notes, and, next time we get two ladies on a den debate, maybe, it'll be a little bit more cordial. I think we had one or two cordials, but, Carolina, if y'all have anything else y'all would like to continue to discuss, I think this is a very good discussion. I mean, it is very interesting.
How many pistachios do I get for winning this debate?
You ain't win shit. Hold on now. See, now you're trying Trying to overcook my grits now. Trying to keep it civil. You ain't want shit.
Just give us both.
I don't need
yes,
no
and you did too. I appreciate you enlightening me to some things.
Nah, but it's not really okay. I mean, you got to start person by person, John. And what it is we know that we need enough people to make enough noise to enact some change. Because black people on our own, what we were doing wasn't working. And then we get all these people saying, well, that's not the way to do it. That's not the way to do it. And then we ask the same question. Then what way should we do it? And we get the same answer. I don't know. So after you get desperate enough and you keep marching and doing this shit about the same shit for decades, every decade we march for the same two fucking things, justice and jobs.
John is the
right
guy
now,
on the
what
Pringles
problems do we have
Italy.
in the black community? Justice and fucking jobs. We still having the same fucking issue. It has not changed for us since we've been here. Never has changed. And we're supposed to be seen equally. We're not seen equally. So when you said earlier that Drew Brees is seeing it half full and then we were seeing it half empty, that's not true. Our glass has less in it than his glass. That's what we're saying. All we want is to have the same. So,
yeah, what I meant by the half...
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
What I was saying was, but the half full, half empty metaphor was, or analogy, was that he sees the progress that's been made in America for people under the American flag, and other people just see the inequalities that have happened under the flag. So that's what I meant by half full. I didn't mean literally you have 50% and he has 50%. Mm-hmm. Because I've heard people say the same thing as him, and I've talked to them, and that's what they've said. They said, you can make this distinction that everything that America has gotten that's good has been gotten under the American flag, and you can say that everything that's bad has happened in America has happened under the American flag. It's like, which way do you want to look at it?
But how did America acquire that shit? What method did we use to acquire all this shit? Let's keep it a buck.
Acquire what?
Acquire everything we got. What methods were used to acquire everything that this country has? Everything.
War. Bloodshed.
What you seeing on the streets right now? That's the way America got it. That same fucking way. We only learn what we taught and what we see. This is what we've seen, and it worked for the country. Why the fuck it can't work for us? In the same goddamn way.
And that's what I said a few nights ago. Was that can work, but there's a difference between a riot and a war. A war, I feel, is more organized. You have your targets, and you go straight for them, and the targets are vital to the enemy surviving or dying. I feel that the target being a target is not vital to white supremacy dying or black people waking up. I said a few nights ago, like, okay, so the Black Wall Street massacre happened about 1921 it was. Like, Italians, when they came to this country, they faced a lot of discrimination, and what they did was they bombed White Wall Street. They went straight for the American economy. They said, if you're going to call me a guinea nigger, because that's what they called Italians, I'm going to teach you that I'm not and you are. And they went straight to White Wall Street. They put a hit out on President McKinley and assassinated him. They had a Polish guy who was down with the anarchists. So Italians went to war with America, but they were very organized, and they went straight for the head. I personally feel that when black people riot or quote unquote go to war, I feel that the way they're trying to kill the monster of white supremacy is they're chopping off fingers and chopping off toes, and they're not going straight for the head. So that's what I said something similar to that, where black people, if you're going to riot or you're going to go to war, do it, I guess, better, for lack of a better term.
And I agree with you, but there's one problem. Normally, if you're in a war, you have leaders and generals. We don't have neither.
Right, but I feel that's
why it looks the way it looks.
Right, and now,
you got
so
a
I
bunch
would
of
ask you,
soldiers just out there with no orders. That's what
right,
you got.
So I would ask you then. So whose responsibility do you think it is for black people who feel oppressed to have a black leader to lead them into war?
That ain't gonna happen because we can't agree on shit. Everybody got their own battle that they willing to fight, and then they more than likely criticizing the rest of our people for what battles that they choose to fight. So it's a bunch of dissension among us because, first of all, we don't have no trust in one another. No trust and zero faith in ourselves. So we just like, fuck it, we just gonna do what we do.
Right.
Now whether we win or not, that's to be seen. But I'll be goddamned if we ain't gonna fight.
Gotcha. Yeah.
These are the facts. Period. It's not pretty.
Yeah, it's definitely
But there is a purpose. It's a purpose. And some of us are willing to die for it. Now the white dude that got choked out and killed, and he had his shit longer than that, I feel for him. That's fucked up. It really is. And if that should have happened, then people should have stood up and said something about it. The people that were closer around him should have made some kind of stink, because it's just not right.
Yeah, but you know this with the black community. Sometimes you could speak up, but if the media doesn't want to push that message, you're not going to get heard. Like, there are black people who protest the black on black shootings in Chicago and other inner cities.
Absolutely.
But you don't see them on TV all day long.
No, because that tells a different narrative, that everybody black ain't no fucking criminal and ain't got a gun trying to kill a white person.
Right.
Or trying to shoot at the police, which that I've never seen. Since I've been on this earth, I have never seen a black dude shoot at the police except on TV. That's the only time I've ever seen it. Because normally, as soon as them laws roll up, niggas scatter. They don't stand and fight like white folks do. I done seen white folks shoot it out with the police. A nigga? Hell no. He running. Sometimes with his pants down his fucking ankles because he can't keep his damn pants up.
Well, last night in Brooklyn, we had a black guy, 34 years old, shoot another black guy, and then when the police showed up, he pointed the gun at the police, and 10 cops shot 19 rounds into him. So I mean, it happens. It's just like you said, like, we don't see it in person, but we see it on TV. That's where I've seen it too.
Yep.
And thank God I don't want to see it in person, because that means I'm too close to danger.
Exactly.
But, I think there's a lot of truth in what both of us said, and I feel that what we agreed on was something's got to be done, and unfortunately, good things don't come easy, and that means they usually take a longer time than they need to. And I feel like nothing you and I are going to do right now is going to change that, but I think that things are heading in the right direction.
Just with the conversation is doing something. It's the fact that we're having this conversation, even though the circumstances are fucked up for the cause of the conversation. But the conversation needs to be had, because this conversation just keeps getting put the fuck off. And so without talking about it, you can't come up with a plan.
Yeah, and I think also, like, I know, like, I talk to white people and I talk to black people about this, and I can see that both parties have a similar reaction, which is when a white person says, well, what about black people? Like, and the black people are usually like, no, this is about black people, blah, blah, blah. And then when, like, a black person says, this is about black people, white people are like, well, what about white people? I feel both sides feel slighted when they bring up their own race. I feel like the way it's being communicated is kind of off, like, black people only concerned about black people getting shot, and white people only getting concerned about white people getting shot. But I genuinely feel that all people compare about all people getting shot. And I feel with social media and text messaging, we've lost the art of conversation and being able to make a presentation to someone and make it sound sexy, even though it shouldn't have to sound sexy because it's the truth. But I feel like we've lost that, and now you have two people just fucking arguing back and forth instead of getting shit done.
No, I don't think it's the fact that I think they're talking at each other and not to each other.
Yeah.
See, right now, when I say something, you're listening, and then you're playing off of what I say. The only way you can play off of what I say is you have to listen first. These people, they're not even listening to each other. One of them is like, well, I got it worse than you, and the other one like, no, you don't. I got it just as bad as you do. That's the argument. That's the whole argument right there. And neither one of them is willing to budge. And they both could be right, or they both could be wrong. You never know. It depends on the circumstances. But that's the fight right there. Yeah,
so that's what I'm saying. If we can figure out a way to get both sides to bend a little bit, to say, like, hey, like, I see your way too, and then the other person says, well, I see your way a little bit too. Let's do this together, because we can get shit done if it's both of us instead of one of us. Like I think you and I are alluding to. That's where the problem is trying to get both parties on board with the same issue.
But here's the kicker. It really ain't about black and white, if you want to be all the way honest. It's about rich and poor. The rich people is getting richer off of us going back and forth with each other. They making all the money. They reaping the benefits. While we still fighting over nothing. While we still fighting over nothing.
I agree. I believe that, but I also feel it's also... I also feel whether you're middle class or poor and you're going against your own class, I also feel it's a lot of ego, a lot of pride. I think that
yeah.
also comes into play. I think that comes
Definitely.
into play. But yeah, even if we came together or didn't come together, there's always someone at the top in the 1% that's going to make some money off the drama.
Yeah, but also, and just to be all out playing with you, and Honcho, you know just as well as I do, everybody ain't meant to have money.
No, absolutely not.
Because you know some niggas, if they want a bunch of money, you know exactly what the end result would be.
Mm-hmm.
A bunch of fucking nothing.
Yes, and go right back where it came from.
Exactly. So, a lot of people don't understand that too. Everybody ain't meant to have it like that.
Broderick been on your ass in the chat trail, but he said
Who?
Said Broderick been on your ass. He said that's the first smart thing you said all night.
Well, that's not. I mean, him giving me a compliment don't really mean much. So I wasn't fishing for compliments from Broderick. I really didn't care what he had to say because he's not on the phone. I'm not talking to Broderick. I'm talking to John. So if he agrees with John, that's more power to him. I ain't mad at you. But to say that I have a lack of intelligence because I'm saying that you don't like or agree with sounds like a personal problem. So again, I guess I can't have a preference, or I guess I can't have a different opinion. Coming from a person who's supposed to be Christian and love everybody equally? I don't know, Broderick. You sound kind of funny to me. You must be reading your Bible backwards or something.
Jesus.
That's okay. So yeah, you know, a lot of bad stuff going on around the country. Maybe the first time I heard that one. So yeah,
that was on the fly too.
And that's why. Again, like the thing that stands out to me again, it's like, and it's not just, I know I jumped on the women of the den earlier and they got mad at me and they was like, there you go, Hunter, with your bullshit, y'all, and that bullshit there. No, but why can't, let me shift the conversation a little bit to both of you gentlemen. Why don't you think America can have the conversation that you two gentlemen are having right now? Why can't the politicians get together, have that conversation, whatever needs to be done in whatever manner, and make it happen? Like, why don't you think this is? Why do you think it's so difficult to make these things happen?
You just got the answer, Broderick. Because of people like Broderick. That's why. Just completely just disacknowledged everything I said and said, well, you had 1 point, but the rest of it was bullshit. Now, the man I'm talking to, he's literally saying to me, which is the person that Broderick is agreeing with, just told me you made a lot of points that do make sense and I agree with. But Broderick said, no, he's an idiot. He only made one good point, but I agree with the other guy. What kind of shit is that? That don't make sense. It's the fact that people who aren't educated and what's being talked about is trying to make inferences in what's being said and putting their 2 cents in when they don't have 2 cents to give to the conversation. That's the problem. Now, Broderick, I'm only coming for you because you came for me, dog. So don't get offended. Just expect it. Just expect it, brother. That still don't mean I don't fuck with you. I still fuck with you.
Well, okay. So you say Broderick is the reason why America...
Not Broderick. I said people like Broderick.
Well, you know what I mean. Well, you know what I mean. Though. Yeah. Broderick clones, Broderick lights. You know, so these people stubborn-minded.
Let's just say this. Let me let Broderick make. Let's just say less than educated people.
Okay.
Honcho.
Yes, sir.
Can I answer that question you asked?
Yeah, go for it.
All right, so I think the problem, I know the problem, is too many people hang out with their own crowd. Too many people have people who think only like them around them. They don't have enough people that want to challenge them. They don't have people that want to go 10 toes down, either because they just don't care or they just feel it's too much. I think if you are a person, like when I was growing up, I was always around different races of people, black, white, Indian, Hispanic. So I learned a lot from different people. there are some people that only grow up around white people. Some white people only grow up around white people, and some black people only around black people, and so on and so on. So you get, one culture or one quote unquote way of thinking. So I feel that if you're more diversified in your life, your thoughts and your heart will be more diversified, and your eyes will be, you'll have better vision. You'll have a true 20/20 vision. If you're white and you're hanging around white people, you're only going to hear and see things about white people. If you're black, you can only see and hear things about black people, and so on. So I feel part of the reason why the politicians can't get along is because Democrats are chilling with Democrats, Republicans are chilling with Republicans. All these people already have made money, or they're being controlled by someone else who makes money, so they can't say what they truly feel. They got to go with the agenda that they're getting paid to push. So I think that would be a big help. Yeah. So I think if people opened up their mind and they stepped outside their comfort zones a little bit, even just a little bit, I think they'll be like, oh, that's why those people do that, and that's why they think like that. And you might realize, like, oh, okay, now I get it. And then, boom, you just opened up a door, and that might lead to 1,000 different rooms.
I agree totally.
Shout out to Andrew Edom. I definitely agree with what he said. He says, and Chad, I appreciate you coming back and watching. Say second time watcher, first time. Chad, say politicians won't talk about subjects like this in front of the people because politicians are safe. They want to be perceived a certain way and want to control their rhetoric. In a discussion, your rhetoric gets challenged, and that's the thing. The safe stuff. I was thinking about this the other day. They always tell you don't talk about religion, don't talk about politics, and what was the other thing? It's a religion, politics, and what's the other thing you're not supposed to talk about in polite society?
R. Kelly.
Well, he definitely don't want to talk about that. Now, in impolite society, well, you already know. But no, it's something else. But I mean, I guess you could say probably sex or your bedroom or whatever. But, I think that these topics need to be talked about more,
Yeah.
and so that, like you mentioned, these understandings can happen. Because, like I said, I don't know what Muslims believe. I guess I have a brief whatever, and sometimes there's false information that does get put out about a lot of things, I think deliberately. And I think that good people can get caught up believing other people's misinformation and kind of skew their view of certain things. Because I think there's good people in all lights. I think there's shit people in all lights. But I think you need to talk about those people. That's what bothers me with a lot of these movements, especially when you talk about black movements, when you do address, any part where niggas is kind of fucking it up, where they're fumbling the bag, if you will. They get mad about you talking about that. But it's just like, if we're going to praise, we do have to talk about negative things too. We got to talk about where we're doing the self-inflicted damage and things of that nature also. But I definitely agree that a lot of these conversations are not being had. I agree with John, though. I think people do need to diversify. I think that's what makes the den unique, too, because you have people from different backgrounds able to have those conversations.
And Honcho,
yes.
the commenter, Andrew, another problem is we can't have this conversation if we were Trill and I were two politicians. We can't say what we said. I've called in and I've said, listen, I'll admit I've said some horrible things about black people out of wanting them to do better and wanting America to do better and white people to do better. I could never have said those things on primetime TV. They would fucking bury me under the jail. But when I did that, people called in. They were emotional, but they told you over the phone how they really felt, and people could hear, and there was a lot of conversations going on. So the problem is these days, if someone says the slightest thing wrong, sponsors start pulling out, people get canceled, and then what happens is people's First Amendment rights are taken away. So it's tough because you can't really, sometimes you really got to punch somebody in the face with your words to get them to fucking feel you. You know what I mean? Sometimes you don't. The best of the best, you could tell them something and they never have to do it, but they understand it right away. Most people you got to beat up a little bit, Most kids, you tell them, don't play with fire, you're going to get burned. What do? They go touch the hot stove right away. Some people. So I feel like in order for real change to happen, you really have to get out there and tell people how you really feel, and then you have to get the other person to, in return, tell you how they really feel. And it's going to be ugly, it's going to be mean, it's going to be rude, it's going to be hurtful. But if it's the truth and it's honesty, eventually some people are going to be like, all right, let me take a look into it. If we just fucking dilly dally and talk surface level issues, we're only going to get surface level results.
Okay. Trill, any response? Any other thoughts to that?
No.
Okay. Any other thoughts you think you'd like to add there, Mr. John?
I just want to finish the comments about, do we really need a government?
Oh, yeah.
The last time that America had no government, or no government, let's see, slavery was still legal. It became illegal about 100 years after the Constitution was ratified, but that was prior to the Constitution being completed with the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments. So let's see. So no slavery. There was. It's going to be lawless. Look at the country the past week. Everything that's going on. Imagine if there was no repercussions for murder, for rape, for other types of vandalisms and arson. We'd probably go back to some kind of a barter system. We'd be trading seashells. Social Security, Medicare, health insurance. When there was no government, there was the Native Americans here. They were scalping people, killing people, raping people. They had slaves as well, some of the tribes. So, no government would be horrendous. It would be literally every man for himself.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree that I think it would be like maybe a little worse than Wild Wild West. They didn't have some of the things that some of the new technologies that we have now, these days. So it would definitely be a wild time.
There would be no rules of engagement for war, so you can go after religious entities, you can go after with children. It'd be lawless. It'd be horrible.
Okay. Any thought on a no government ran society, Trill, while you're here?
Say what?
Do you have any thoughts on what America would look like without a government? Does America need a government? What would you change about the government if you had the opportunity?
It probably look more similar to the Wild Wild West. And what I think they should change? I think it's a lot of laws that definitely need some updating, and some of them that is really long overdue that need to be implemented. Now, the way that they get implemented, which, like John said, and I do agree, that shit does take a long time. But when something is just a reoccurring thing, and then you just choose not to do something about it, like come on now. Eventually, like if you got a fucking fly that's been buzzing around your fucking head all day long, when are you gonna get your ass up and get the fly swatter? Yeah. Like it's got to become some point in time where you just got to do something about it, because it's a common and frequent annoyance.
I agree, man. Okay. I definitely agree that I think it'll be a real wild place, and I agree with most of the points that you gentlemen have. This point I can't agree with both of them if y'all debate two opposite things, but like I said, I appreciate the civil debate. That's a better way of putting it. That we had. I think that could be a clinic to whom it may concern on ways that you can debate in the den on a phone call, be clearly understood, appreciated, and enjoyed. Not that I don't enjoy some of the other stuff, but hey, it ain't got to be all ratchet all the time. And not that I'm calling you ladies ratchet, but some of y'all ratchet. Okay. Well,
if we can, and if any point in time we can't come to an agreement, we can always just blame everything on Heidi. Yeah, she's a racist.
Exactly.
Yeah. See, look at that. Unity.
Fuck you, Heidi.
You don't think I saw you in the chat room, Heidi, talking your shit? Yeah, I don't look like the fucking Pringles guy. Get the hell out of here.
Nah, when she said Social Security, I lost it. That's what I was laughing at. I fucked around and read that. I'm like, this girl crazy. She's fucking crazy.
Terrible person. Terrible.
It's social security. Anyway, I think we violated the 10-minute rule enough tonight. It was a pleasure, Trill. Pleasure, Honcho. I'll speak to you guys soon again.
All right, I appreciate the call, gentlemen.
Yep.
All right, good night, guys.
All right. Fuck you, John.
Thank you. Fuck you too. Bye.
Yeah.
Oh, isn't that lovely? We at the limit. We'll take one or two more calls, and We'll see. We'll probably take one more. We'll take two more, and we'll wrap it up after that. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we got calling into the den this evening?
What it do, HHRP? What's talking about?
Mr. Ken, how you doing this evening, Mr. Ken? What's on your mind this evening, sir?
You know, I got a lot on my mind as usual. You know, before I say what's on my mind, how are you doing tonight, sir? Are you intact mentally? You know, is everything good up there?
Yeah, I'm doing well. No complaints. Just same old, same old. But thank you for asking. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you know, you gotta ask every now and then. You know, you can't ask someone every day. Hey, how are you doing mentally? What the fuck you asking? Like, why are you asking me that? But look though, it's a lot of shit I don't fuck with that I heard on this thing call tonight. On this live, you know, I don't fuck with it. You know what I'm saying? And it's okay. You know, I don't fuck with it. Gosh, I don't know where. I believe the first caller was prepaid.
Yes.
Or the first one I heard was prepaid. A lot of that was extremely problematic.
Really?
Extremely problematic for me.
How so, sir?
It was okay. All right. So, all right. You know, I'm a fair person. You know, I like to call a spade a spade. You know, and if you have like a whole hand, like, I like for you to say all, you know, like all your cards. Don't just like give me like the heart or the spade. Like, give me the whole hand. You know, so it really bothers me when people, you know, single out basically, you know, the heart or the clubs or the spades. You know, and include all them hoes. I say that to say, you know, throughout the call, or that call, and John's call as well, bless his soul. God bless you, John. You know, the white Christian way. Fucking prepaid, man. God bless you too, man, brother. But I just have this. It really bothers me when, you know, black people, you know, and then, you know, you have the white people, whatever, they say whatever, fuck it, whatever. But it really bothers me when, you know, that call, he just said, you know, niggas, you know, come by me, I'm gonna blow your head off. Niggas, you know, niggas. You know what I'm saying? That shit really fucking bothers me. Like, I mean, you know, if you could say that, okay, fine. You could say, you know, niggas burn down their own place, stupid. You know what I'm saying? You know, niggas do that shit. You know what I'm saying? Fine, say shit like that. But make sure you include the countless of, or just at least mention it one time about the instances where you've seen, you know, motherfuckers stealing, you know, surfboards and shit. You know, and Lacoste, and out of Beverly Hills, and Nike, at the Ice store in Soho, downtown. It was white motherfuckers busting the windows out with their skateboards, and they went in the store, and they were actually throwing out the window, the broken windows, iPhones and iPads, like it was Christmas. Like, here's phone, guys. And motherfuckers was checking phones, like left and right. Like, here's the phone, Christmas phones. You know what I mean? Like, I just believe in including the full picture and not just always saying niggas this and niggas that. You know, niggas always, you know, niggas all they do is, you know, protest. But you say that, but without mentioning the fact that the protest was, COINTELPRO this motherfucker. You got fucking anarchy motherfuckers out here just doing shit, just because. I did not hear that on the line. I ain't hear that shit on the line. I ain't hear nothing about, whatever word you want to call other folks. I ain't hear that. I didn't hear, the countless videos or just one instance. I know I've seen countless of videos where there were black people guarding businesses, and not just mom and pop, guarding corporations. There were videos where there were black men fighting these fucking anarchists, whatever you call them, like from spray painting and looting, and I mean just countless of videos I saw of that. I didn't see. I didn't hear that in the conversation. Yeah, it's supposed to be a 10-minute call. Sure, K. Graves. Be that as it may. Mention it sometime there or another. I did not hear that in Prepaid's call nor John's call. All I heard was how niggas was running amok. Like animals. Niggas is running amok. That shit bothers me. I have no problem calling a spade and saying for what it is, but give the full picture. You know what I'm saying? Another point I like to mention is that old boy, my brother Prepaid mentioned that it's mob mentality to it's basically mob mentality to with this whole dead shit. You know what I mean? Like with the dead shit, it's not mob mentality. Like it's if you don't understand why Cap kneeled, and you don't understand why folks protesting, I don't think you just want to understand either way. But on the other hand, when white people go into saying how they love their, veteran and this, that, and the third, hello, we have family. My grandfather's a Purple Heart veteran. I have plenty of family members who are, have been in the Army. I have a cousin that's in the FBI. I have police officers. I mean, I have so many, as many other countless of black people. We know, like, these people take pride in what they fought for. No one is discounting that. So it's like countless of times when we have that conversation, we can understand when you guys say things like that about the veteran and the flag, but it's just a major disconnect on the other end. Now with John, I like to say that out of the decades and centuries of hard work that my people have done, the countless of bills that have been drafted, countless of meetings with mayors and judges, and meetings with countless of presidents by an array of different leaders of different ages and different eras, and yet we are here. So excuse me if the limitless amount of hours worked from, like, my people over the countless of decades and centuries, excuse me if that wasn't enough. Excuse me if, those hours weren't enough to push us further than where we're at today. You know what I mean? Like, excuse me if the voting, black voting, how black people dominated the voting booth. They dominate. They send people to dominate, so they say. Excuse me if, like, those things aren't enough. Excuse me if, the unnamed people that you'll never know, people like my grandmother or my neighbor who are presidents of the NAACP and write presidents to 4 different presidents and volunteer in Black Panther activism. And excuse me if none of those things weren't enough to bring us further than where we're at today. By all means, all that work that those people done, it wasn't enough. It just wasn't enough. See, when we have conversations like this, you have people like John and Prepaid that say all this shit what niggas need to do, what niggas need to do to combat this and this, that, and the third, and that, and the third. I ain't hear John or Prepaid say nothing about what people who created the system of white supremacy, what they need to fix. I ain't heard them say shit about what them hoes need to do. But I hear John consistently say, what do you want me to do? You know, you can expect for me to fix the world. See, white people, they have this white savior thing that goes on. They already painted Jesus fucking white. What do you expect me to do? I can't change the world. You know, what can I do? You know, like, I don't have power. I don't have power. Well, if you don't have power, how about stop calling the police on kids selling water in the park? If you don't have power. If you don't have power, stop calling the police on fucking police people doing their job. If you don't have fucking power, okay? If you don't have power, stop making yourselves and your white, the word white and whatever, be the savior, the black savior in movies with a black leading role. If you don't have power, okay? So that's all I'm saying. Y'all don't have all this power. Stop acting like you have all this power if you don't have power. My whole thing is, if motherfuckers wanted shit to change, it would change. But don't discredit the work that people have done decade after decade, century after century, and then say what niggas need to do. Niggas have done work throughout the centuries and fighting and peacefully doing things and writing bills and drafting this and doing that, and still we're here. What are white people doing? That's your job to do for your white fellow citizens. That's your job. You ask, what do black people want you to do? Stop fucking with us. Simple. Stop fucking with us. And this supremacy that you clearly said, white supremacy, what can I do? You said that black people, when black people combat white supremacy, they cut off their fingers and toes. That was the quote. That means you acknowledge that's a system that there's white supremacy. And you're acknowledging that what you claim that you see that white people, the black people have done, they're cutting off fingers and toes, not the system. What the fuck are you doing to help break down that system that you care so much to destroy? And that's where it goes silent. Because there is nothing after that. Because the benefits, they benefit from this shit. And they play dumb and shit like they know that they don't benefit from it. Who's breaking down the system? Who's writing a letter to break down the system? What are you going to do to tell your white mother and your white sibling who may have some racist views or who may have whatever? What are you doing to make that better? That's what you can do. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, but don't stop all this fake shit and pretending I don't know what's what. Stop all that shit. And stop all this nigga down talk like niggas ain't done shit to help
Excuse
push
me.
them further than where they're at.
Excuse me, Mr. Kenneth. Mr. John has proposed to have a direct conversation with you over the discussion that was had. I believe he feels as though he's being misrepresented in your depiction of some of his comments. Would you like to engage directly in conversation with Mr. John from New York?
Listen, John can call in and you can say what he wants to say, but I am in no I said it before. I am in no way, shape, or form to
Donation to the Honcho Fight
teach white
Against
people anything
Racism Fund.
that they haven't been taught already. These motherfuckers they're researching for the God particle. The God particle. The God particle. Okay. You know all of these things and NASA and all these planets and Mars and shit, but not enough education and understanding to try to understand something that motherfuckers been trying to have a conversation of understanding for centuries? No, I don't want to have a conversation with John, because John is going to do what I know what he's going to do with me. He ain't going to do that with Trill, but with me, you see, he going to want to play that little game. You see, what I'm not going to do is play a little game with someone. I'm not going to waste my breath with someone who doesn't want to find me.
Well, Mr. Prepaid would also like to join the conversation, so I think, all three of you gentlemen will be able to kind of discuss and hash. So I think that, any game plan will be mitigated. I think it'd be a good conversation. But if you are not interested...
Listen. I'm not in a position to talk with John. Now, I talk with my brother Prepaid. I can talk with my brother Prepaid. But I know my spirit tells me, and I follow that. My spirit tells me that he gonna come with the bullshit. And see, I'm just not in a position to entertain that bullshit. But I'll definitely talk with Prepaid. That's fine. But us three together, for my part, that ain't going.
Give me just one moment, and Mr. Prepaid does a call. Shout out to shout out to Shonda. Shout out to. Okay. Well, that's the way it works. It works. Mr. Prepaid, Mr. Kim, both of y'all are here.
To get started, I want to be very clear on this, okay? My wife is asleep. My kids are asleep. I'm going to use my inside voice. I'm going to try not to get angry, but you said a lot of things about me that just flat out wasn't true. Now, I'm going to let you talk.
I didn't know I needed a disclaimer as a child, but okay.
Oh, no. I'm telling you so I can let you know I'm very calm. I'm very relaxed.
Okay. I am as well. That's why I said,
So,
hey brother, how are you doing? I asked you how.
I'm doing fine. I just want to clear the air before we get started because you're saying things about me that's not true.
Oh, okay. So you can go ahead and leave.
Okay.
By all means, if I'm wrong, I have no problem with it.
First and foremost, Kenneth, let's start with the whole Drew Brees thing, because I think that's where I must have offended you, but you didn't understand what I was saying. So let me help you out, okay? I never said I agree with Drew Brees. I was very clear on saying I don't give a fuck about the national anthem or none of that shit. I think I was very clear on that. What I said was...
I was talking about Tom, but you...
Oh, okay, but hold on, because you mentioned my name. So let me clear something up real quick.
All right.
I never mentioned Cap. I never mentioned him with the protest. What I'm telling you is, at least with Drew Brees, he stands by his laurels. I respect a man who feels the way he feels, and he stands by it no matter what. That's
right.
Respectable, especially in a time and place now when everybody is fist pumping about Black Lives Matter, when you and I both know 90% of people don't give a fuck about Black Lives Matter. Can we get on the same page with that?
No, I agree. I totally agree where you're coming from, bro. You don't have to really explain that because I know what you said with that. You said that you understand that. You said you respect him for having his beliefs, and just know that if whatever beliefs you have, just know you may get fucked up. That's pretty much basically what you said. I agree with you on that. I have no disparaging disagreement with you with that because of you said in the end you said someone may get fucked up.
Okay.
So
okay. Now, Kenneth, I thought we had this conversation before, but we're gonna have it again. When I say when niggas get to looting, prepare get to shooting, I thought we was all clear that I'm a proud gun-toting nigga around this motherfucker. I thought we know that. This is Mike Wick over here. I also thought it was very clear. I thought it was very clear and established that when I say niggas, I'm not talking about black people. I'm talking about everybody. Because all my niggas is my niggas. Every time I speak to John in the chat, I say, what's good, my nigga? I say, Kenneth, what's good, little nigga? Roman, what's good, my nigga? When I say Honcho, what's good, my nigga? And I say that also to you, Kenneth. Do I not say what's good, my nigga?
I've never heard you call me nigga.
You never, so you just ignore it. Because I'm telling you right now, I'm not checking the chat, but I'm pretty sure everybody in there is going to say that that's how I talk.
No one calls me nigga. They call
I
me...
definitely call you nigga.
I
call you two words. I call you two words. What's good, my nigga, and what's good, Kenneth with the box braid. I know you heard me say that. That's the two things I say. I'm consistent every time.
Yeah, well, maybe it's my eyes playing tricks on me, but I never seen that. But I don't know. Maybe we have maybe we have like a disconnect because you bringing up the football guy. If he plays football, I don't even know. But if he plays football, I don't have a disagreement with where you stand with that. My disagreement with you is the protesting and basically talking down on niggas. Like, the way you was talking, like, oh wait, let me finish. Like every time that when we've had the conversation up on black people, you talk down on and you separate yourself. And that's cool if that's what you want to do, that's your deal. But I noticed that you separate yourself when talking about black people, when you're talking about black people in discouraging ways. So to constantly see that and that separation and I do not know when you say niggas, you mean all people, which I don't believe that. I mean, you can say that, but I don't believe you when you say that, and that's fine. But it's just very disparaging, and it's not like you don't mention the reasons why you think this is occurring. And I've never heard really any solutions being spoken, but it's always, when I hear about you speaking about black people, it's mainly in a negative light. And it's not, I don't hear, but for someone who's supposed to be above black people, or that's the tone that I get when I hear you speak about black people, I can't even remember a solution, spoken during these conversations.
Okay, so let's clear up something real fast. I didn't think we had to go back this far, but let me clear up something real fast, okay? First and foremost, bro, you got to get away from this whole fake self-hatred bullshit. See, let me explain something to you. It don't matter if you live in the greatest city in New York or if you live in the smallest town in Alabama. If you a nigga, you a nigga no matter what. If you have the greatest education, no education, Ivy League education, master's degree, law degree, doctor degree, if you black, you're going to be black regardless of the fact. On my best day, I'm black. On my worst day, I'm black. So let's kill that shit. Second of all, you said I feel like I'm above black people. No, the fuck I am not. I am the black American dream. I'm young, black, and successful. And I make no bits and pieces or try to hide this shit. People should be aspiring to accomplish things in life, the things that I've done. Second of all, let's go ahead and nip this in the bud. Like let's go and get this out the way right now. Like please, let's stop doing this shit, because that shit makes me angry. You are mad at me because I'm separating myself from the niggas that's looting?
You don't
really?
gotta be disrespectful. How do you give me a disclaimer at the beginning of a conversation and you be disrespectful?
What disclaimer?
You give a disclaimer about how this is your this is your quiet voice and your wife sleep and how you.
No, I'm telling you, I haven't raised my voice at all. No, Kenneth, you can talk as loud as you want to. No, Kenneth, you can talk as loud as you want to. I'm not talking loud because my wife and kids are asleep.
You're cursing at me. I was being respectful to you. I opened up a conversation with, "Hey, bro, how you doing?" I'm acknowledging you as brother.
What curse word did I tell you? What curse word did I tell you?
No curse word. No curse word.
No. What curse word did I use towards you?
No curse word. Just continue, man.
Okay. So basically, Kenneth, you both know I didn't curse you, but that's not here nor there. Let me.
You didn't say the word shit twice, man. This is what I'm not going to do. I'm not going to play dumb.
So shit is cursing at you. Okay, Kenneth, I apologize. Let's move forward because come on, man, stop that. You got a count on the sun. It ain't even adding up, brother. Let's move forward.
No.
Anyway,
you start up a conversation about being respectful, and then I be respectful, and your tone rises, and then you curse me.
So now you want to control my tone.
So you give a disclaimer. No, you give a disclaimer.
So now you want to control.
Bro, you tell me how to you govern. You start off a conversation telling me how to talk during the conversation, and basically saying my wife is asleep and how I'm going to be at a soft tone. Basically saying don't get riled up, but then you raise your voice and then you curse. Like that makes no sense to me.
Kenneth, that's a blatant lie again. I told you I'm going to use my inside voice because my family is asleep. I never told you what you should do in any form or fashion. You're lying again, bro. You got to stop that. Again, you're trying to derail the conversation. It doesn't make any sense. I was very clear on how I was going to handle this conversation. How you handle the conversation is how you want to. You are a grown-ass man. I don't tell you how to do nothing.
Right.
And I pay all the bills over here, so I'm going to do how I want to do it. So if you don't mind, I would like to continue.
Okay, continue.
As I was saying, you got to stop this because you feel like, oh, well, you know, you should be bigging up your people and talk about white supremacy and give solutions. You want me to give a solution to a person who's looting in their own neighborhood? You want me to give a solution to people in Baltimore who just burned down their city not even 5 years ago? A solution.
I'm talking about during conversations.
Okay, now can I? Okay, but I can help you. Just calm down. I was very clear and I said that a lot of these young niggas they don't want solutions, Kenneth. They just want to see the city burn. I was very clear on that. You can't reason with people this way. My prime example was these people tearing down corporations. Y'all like, no, put a sign on the door. Don't damage black businesses. They don't give a fuck. They don't care. Do you think they didn't know that David Dorn was black? He's black as night, bro. They still killed him. They don't care. This is the point I'm talking about. These niggas. I have nothing to do with people who are looting and stealing and burning down their cities. Nothing to do with them. Nothing. I was also very clear when I told you white people are going to give you white guilt and niggas are going to be mad now because they hijacked Black Lives Matter. It's over. It's over. Taking the knee will no longer hold any power, Kenneth. Putting your black fist there will no longer hold any power. They doing that at every Starbucks now. Every IKEA, every fucking Payway restaurant you associate with, they'll do it now. You lost that flight. So now what's next? Do you want some solutions? Everybody, get a pen and paper down. Y'all want some solutions? Cool. I got 3 things going to help everybody out moving forward. If you're black or minority in America, the first thing you need to do is stop acting like white supremacy is why you ain't accomplishing things in your life. It ain't true. Ain't nobody riding around with them hood on a horse, burning crosses in people's yard. It don't happen. Stop it. That's number 1. Number 2, get you some motherfucking money so you can get you some motherfucking assets. Because what y'all keep doing is y'all keep yelling about racism. Racism means everything to y'all because y'all haven't learned what the fuck classism is. Learn the difference between classism and racism. Rich people hang with rich people. Poor people are associated with poor people. If you have assets, you're going to have rich partners. If you broke, y'all going to be sleeping outside. He need to hear this shit.
Yeah, let me add him back real quick. One moment here, sir. Let me double check and make sure that is.
If you can't get him back, I'll finish my point and get off the phone because I ain't with all that. Stop lying on me.
Let me see. I should be able. Let me do it like this real quick. I don't know if it showed the last call in there because this one didn't. And give me one. Let's see. Do it like this. If it's gonna act like that. Okay, give me one. Oh shit, what happened? I don't want to do that. Alright, there we go. Okay, damn, that's long enough. Alright, give me 1 second. Let me add them real quick.
Yo.
Both gentlemen over here?
I'm here.
Okay, all right.
Yo.
Ken, if you want my solutions for the black community, I would like to give them to you now. I have 3.
Well,
It won't take long.
I don't. Well, sure. Go ahead.
Because you said I never give solutions, so I'm going to give solutions. Everybody get a pen and pad out. Number 1, stop worrying about white supremacy. Ain't no white man riding around on no horse with a white hood on stopping you from being who you're supposed to be in life. It's not happening. Stop telling everybody everything is racist. It's not. Majority of the problems in America are not about race. It's about class. Classism is your problem. Rich people hang with rich people. Poor people associate with poor people. That's just the way it works. I don't make these rules. If you're middle class, you're going to work with people who bust their ass every day in middle class. Most people middle class. Number 2, if you're black or you're a minority in America, get you some money. Get you some money so you can build assets. You build assets, that's how you get control and power. That's how this works. Number 3, most importantly, I preach this all the time. You have a Second Amendment right. Get you some fucking guns. Protect yourself, your property, your family, and your well-being. Those 3 things, you follow those maps, you're going to be successful
I'm
in fucking
deleting
America.
all my broke
And let me
friends
clear
off
something
my
up real quick,
social
because
media. Hooray,
minorities, y'all
hooray,
have this
hooray,
thing where
hands
y'all
clapping,
against
hands
guns, and
clapping,
you don't
hands
need a gun,
clapping,
and
winning
why do people
trophy
need
party
AR-15s?
popper
Let me tell you
confetti
something.
balloon.
Cops don't prevent crime. Cops respond to crime. Niggas came to your house, broke in your shit, stole your shit. Niggas came to my house, they died right here. It's going to be a closed casket. That's the difference. Niggas broke in your house on Tuesday, they might be back on Thursday to finish the job. They came over here on Tuesday, they died here on Tuesday. This how this shit works. I support my people, I big up my people, but I'm not going to do what you do, Kenneth, because what you do is you are a black apologist. You apologize on their behalf. You do what you say. Well, I know it's wrong. I know they shouldn't be stealing, but look at the white people. They stealing too. I know it's wrong, but what about the land that was stolen off this country? Nigga, wrong is wrong. You want me to justify because it's my people doing it? Nigga, no. Nigga,
Nobody
no.
justifies. I'll let you talk.
You're giving me examples about how people were stealing out of Soho and throwing iPhones to their partners, or white people were stealing out of PacSun, or they were stealing from Urban Outfitters. Bro, looting is looting. Looting is not going to change nothing for us to change anything in America. Not a single fucking thing. White supremacists think that we're monkeys. If you out here tearing up, shooting people, and doing all in the middle street, you proving them right. Successful white people feel like poor niggas don't want nothing for themselves. Did you prove anything different? Did you change anything? Oh, that's right. You got the white supremacists. You got the ears. Now you got the heart. You just tore up a gap, a baby gap. You showed them. That shit does nothing. That does nothing. That improves nothing for nobody. Absolutely nothing. And the crazy part about it is, deep down inside, you know I'm telling the truth. Your problem is that you feel like because you're doing pretty well for yourself, you want to fight it. There's nothing to fight about.
No, it's not. Listen. Okay, listen. Major disconnect here. Okay. Because you're schooling in whatever. And I understand where you're coming from. And I understand what you're saying. But what I'm talking about, and what I've been saying from the very beginning, And I specifically said, and I led with, from what I see. Okay. I'm not talking about what Billy Blanks is the rioters doing, the riot, whatever's doing outside. I specifically said what I saw from the den calls when you call in and we have these conversations about black people. I feel that you talk down upon black people. So when you go upon, I'm lying on you, it's no lie. These are my feelings. This is how I interpreted your phone call when I've heard you call in. Okay. So this whole I'm lying on you, like I can get this straight, it's irrelevant because what I said was my observation from my eyes. Now, you can feel as though that my eyes may be wrong and my ears do not hear what I've heard. And the notes that I've written down from you know what I'm saying, that I didn't write those down. But be that as it may. I feel as though that I've been logical when we talk about black issues. I discuss the good. I discuss the bad, the ugly, the solutions. I talk about my own family bullshit. I say it all. By no means do I run away from accountability on myself and from the people that I speak about, which is the black collective. And when I speak about things in this chat, and when I say about solutions, I have never heard solutions. I'm not talking about are you out here in the street telling Bruce Willis how to fix his tie and be a black man. I'm talking about in the chat at 1 a.m. on whatever day that we're on, those days that we're discussing these topics. I don't hear solutions. I'm not talking about what you're doing. I'm talking about discussions. And it's similar to when I tell my grandmother that when I hear her talk, it's negatively. It's negative comments. It's negative remarks. It's rare that I've heard solutions about or a compliment. That's from my point of view. You can't nobody control that shit but me, because it's my point of view. Everybody else could think what they want to think. You could think what you want to think because it's your mouth, it's your mind, and sometimes we don't know what we say. And hey, I may be tripping, but I know the shit that I write down because I'm a communicator. I write shit down, and you may do your shit too. But when I listen to you, and I hear about what I've done and what the stuff that I've done, and success. This is how you black folks, how y'all can be successful. It's in the same way that these capitalistic niggas who you give them titles, you give them a little bit of power, and then they talk down in a condescending way. Take your notepad out. Take your notepad out. Write it down. In a condescending way, as if you are the end-all, be-all, and as if your way is the way. I say it all the time. Let me finish because I let you talk. There are literally less than 100 ways for you to get to Soho from my house. There is not just one way to get to Soho from my house. There's plenty of ways to get there. So, in conversations, I can't control what you say. I can't control nothing that you say. I can't control your thought pattern. All I'm saying is from my perspective, from what I've noticed, when we have these types of discussions, not saying that the looting is okay, and on the other side, I am saying that looting is okay. I fuck with the fucking looting. I fuck with the rioting. I fuck with it all. I fuck with it all. Okay. Now, I said, just because I said I fuck with it, I never once said that it's right. Because I may believe that it's right, but you may not. But from what history tells me, when we bomb countries and we 9/11 and shit happens, nobody goes and have no kumbaya meetings to get shit solved with America. And at this stage right now, it's casualties. At this point, this goes down in history, and it's the police against the citizens. And this is a war. In a sense, this is a war. People are dead. So this, in a sense, it's a war. Now, as I said, I ain't saying it's right, but I'm saying it's right for me. I'm not telling everybody else, an all-black delegate, to say that it's right. I'm not telling nobody don't got to agree with me at all. But for Kenneth, the shit is right. I fuck with it. Even the fucking Antifa, whatever you call them motherfuckers, even though they heard it, but it all goes to wherever we're headed. So that's all I'm saying, you know. And it's nothing personal against you. I just want to make it clear. It's nothing personal. I'm just telling you what I've noticed.
Are you finished?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Kenneth, are you sure that I talk past people? Because I think maybe it's just the way you take it because you don't like what I'm saying. Because what I'm saying, you don't, which this is the thing, you don't have a problem with the material fact. No, but Kenneth, hold on. I know, but Kenneth, hold on, Kenneth, here's the problem. You don't have a problem with the material facts. You just want to control my tone and how I say it, and I should sugarcoat it. Here's the thing for you, young man. When you take a shit outside and you put roses around it and you step in it, it's still a pile of shit. It's still a pile of shit. I talk to people outside the den on a daily basis. If I was talking past people, why would they be in contact with me if I was so condescending? Truth of the matter is, bro, I don't even use big words here. I don't use legal jargon. I'm the most niggerish lawyer you ever met. It don't get no better than this. It don't get no better. Honcho, when you need me, did I give it to you straight to the point?
Absolutely.
I give it to you hard. This is as uncut as it gonna get. This is uncut as it gonna get. I don't have to throw my success on you and prove how. That's not me as a person. You take it that way because for some odd reason you are triggered by telling a person go the fastest way from point A to point B is a straight line. You don't like that. That's a you thing, Kenneth. That's not a me thing, bro.
I'm not
That's
trying
a you
to
thing.
control you. I'm not trying to.
No. But you are.
No, I'm not.
But Kenneth, you are. But hear me out. But Kenneth, I'm talking now, Kenneth. You cut me off. You cut me off.
But you're misinterpreting what I'm saying. I'm not trying to control your words. I said that when I spoke. I'm not trying to control anything you're saying. I just said what I interpreted. Now, I'm not trying to control you. I say you all can think what you want to think. But this is my interpretation. When I read poetry, I'm not telling you how to interpret what the fucking poem says. I'm telling you how I interpret how I read it. I'm not telling you how to write the poem. When I talk about that, I'm just saying how I interpret it. I fuck with some of the shit that you sing. I fuck with Beyonce, but I feel I don't fuck with the capitalism with black people because black capitalism has not. It's individualism. It's not groupism, and I fuck with groupism. Now you may fuck with individualism, which is from how I hear you speak about your success and how to get this and that and further for your family and whatever, and that's fine. And we can disagree on that. I'm in no means saying that we have to agree on that. I'm just saying that I roll with the fact of that if we're going to be if my block is going to be millionaires, the block behind me, the block in front of me, the block beside me, and and all of us are going to be of my people because my people need it the most. That's how I was brought up. I was brought up that way. I'm not saying your way is wrong, but what I'm saying is that black capitalism has not helped black people advance. That's all I'm saying. I'm not trying to control the narrative.
Kenneth, you told me to give solutions. I said, y'all get a notepad and jot this down so you can have your 3 solutions. You then turn around and throw it back on me, bro. You didn't turn around and throw it back on me. I'm talking. I was quiet, bro. I was quiet when you talked. Even though you cut me off, I was quiet. You can't ask me to do something and then beat me up for the same thing.
I didn't ask you. I just told you my interpretation.
But Kenneth, you just asked me to give solutions.
I said it was my interpretation.
But Kenneth, you told me to give solutions. I gave solutions. You asked me to help you change the tire in your car. Then you called the cops and said I tried to steal your car. Nigga, I'm here because of you. I don't have to give them solutions. Everybody in the den is going to figure this shit out on their own. You talk about me being a black capitalist and I got some power, so I'm basically talking past people and all that type of stuff. That's what you came up with. Let me explain something to you.
You represent a new, like the beginning state. I don't know your money, bro. I don't know nothing about you. I just know from what I hear and from what I study, I just match what things, it's rocket science. And from what I hear is that you're somewhere in that family group of do-for-selfers and individualism, and that can lead to black capitalism.
Kenneth, listen to me. I need you to really listen to me, bro. You are where you are right now because of capitalism. No one is going to save you, bro. There isn't going to be some black trust fund that's going to come out and bail us out. We're never getting reparations. You live a half a block from Soho. You made it there because of capitalism. You put your head down and got the work done. That's how this whole thing works. Ain't nobody coming to save us. When Honcho get hungry, he know prepaid not going to come drop off a plate to him. He got to figure this shit out on his own. This is how this thing works, bro. This is how this whole thing works. Fam, you talking about you riding with the protesters, that's fine. I was very clear. I told you. If people want to ride with the looters, that's fine. You can be willing to die for it, though. You can be willing to die for it. I was very clear on that. I don't care what people do at businesses. You can go and tab all of that shit. I was very clear also that it's a reason why they ain't doing it in residentials. Life is always different when you staring down the barrel of that motherfucking Beretta. See, it's always different. Kenneth, you mentioned Antifa and you cool with all that stuff. Fam, I've been talking about Antifa for years. This may be a new concept to you. I've been telling people about who Antifa was. I've been told everybody how they hijack everything that's going on. But let me ask you this, because you said, I fuck with the protesters, I fuck with the looters, I get all that. Do you fuck with them enough to where they can come inside your apartment or your home and loot your shit?
Listen, if I'm a casualty of war, then I'm a casualty.
This isn't a war.
I'm a realist. So if it happens, it happens. If I catch the coronavirus, I catch it and I move on. Like that's me. That's my mindset. I'm a realist. So if I know that if this is what could happen, and if it happens, okay, what am I going to do about it? I'll be mad. Okay, I'll move on. I'll rebuild my apartment and shit. Okay, go on about my life. Like, I'm not the type of person that's stuck on shit. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. So, Kenneth, you said this is a war, and I'm dying to hear your answer. I'm gonna just be quiet and let you tell me. How the fuck is this a war, and who is we at war against?
It's the citizens against the establishment, the police, basically.
So how do we weaken the police by stealing all the headbands from Dior?
I'm sorry?
How do we weaken the establishment by stealing all the headbands from Dior?
Listen, man, I don't have all the answers.
You ain't got to have all the answers, my brother, but give me at least one answer.
But you're asking me a question. I'm telling you I don't have all the answers. I know that this is the citizens against the establishment. And obviously Dior is it's somewhat a part of the establishment, but it doesn't even have to be, but the damage represents an amount of revolt and anger and aggression. It's about what it represents. It doesn't have to be about if CVS Pharmacy supports Trump. No. You think these people know this mom and pop business is a white establishment? No, they're just wrecking shit. And sometimes that's what it is. With people, with your counter people, like I said, I've seen plenty of shit with people, counter people. Like, it's all different shit out here. So when war, literally anything type of shit on now. It's people running over people. It's cops getting shot. Dude got it's for. And I can't break it. I can do a trivial, do a pop quiz, if you will. But yeah.
Okay, Kenneth, what you're trying to do is, my man, is you're trying to make shit into a crystal sandwich, and you can't do it. You're trying to justify stealing Gucci belts as a way of revolt because you're in pain. Fam, you're not even stealing things that actually can help you in the fight, in the art of war. You're not even stealing resources. You're just stealing dumb shit. You were into this, bro. You want to romanticize this idea. Now, Ken, if I was quiet, but Ken, if I was quiet, but Ken, if I was quiet,
don't do the
but I was quiet though. But Ken, if I was quiet, it's my turn.
You're right.
You want to romanticize this idea of this revolution. This idea of we're going to eat the rich. We're going to show them our pain. Why is the focus? See, this what blows my mind with this whole mindset of this revolution. The revolution going to be televised. What have we gained? You've done nothing but loss. George Floyd died, and then we got 7 black people dead also that were out there to protect your right to peacefully protest. Now, stick with me. Stick with me.
How can you say something lost before it's even over?
Can I finish? Can I finish? Can I finish? This is your problem. You got to listen. Now you got 2. The virus, the cure is worse than the virus, Kenneth. Can you hear me?
Something happened. I don't know if your phone went out, but can you repeat that?
I can hear you. Honcho, can you hear us? Okay. Listen, man. Your cure is worse than your virus. We're sacrificing lives for you to go out here and have a revolution to revenge one life. It makes no sense. You ain't winning this war because you're not even taking anything of value to even weaken your opponent. The only thing you're doing is justifying the excessive force the cops use. That's it.
Bro, who are you to say what's a win? You're not even for what's going on. You're not even for what's going on. So who are you to say what's a win? Who are you to say what's a win to the people that's fighting for something?
Okay, here's the deal. Here's the deal, gentlemen. And like I said, I hate to interrupt. I'm about to fucking tap out. But it's a very good conversation going on. I don't know if y'all got time, maybe continue in the Discord or not. But I don't want to be in a fell out back here.
Kenneth, come to Discord. Okay. Kenneth, come to Discord. Honcho, I appreciate this, man. We'll talk in Discord.
All right, appreciate it, Prepaid. Appreciate it, Mr. Ken.
All right.
Much love. Have a good night.
All right, good night.
You too, bro.
Okay. That's pretty interesting. We'll finish this conversation in the Discord here. And I'm over here. Y'all see it. I mean, ain't nothing else to put on there. Let's slide to the Discord. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know how it goes. That always great conversation after the den. Every time after the den live, we go straight to the Discord conversation. You can be a part of the conversation, jump in the voice chat. Everybody can discuss it live. If you just want to listen in on the chat, feel free to listen in on the chat. I'm gonna put the link in here. So for those of you who don't have the link to the Discord, it can be a part of a very good conversation. Man, shit, whose stand-up did I just watch that was funny? Or I didn't see that Mike Epps stand-up, I guess his most recent one from 2019. That was like the best Mike Epps stand-up I have seen from him. Because Mike Epps stand-up start off kind of like slow, and then, or they'll be kind of spotty. Like they'll be kind of funny here, kind of funny there. They just don't have that normal stand-up flow. But this last one he did, it was actually real good. That motherfucker was funny, though. He definitely got much better. Oh, man cave. No, hold on, man cave. Nah, we go. Before we shut it all down. Yes. Because look, I've been missing Mr. Man Cave for quite some time now. So give me one moment. Look, if I snore a little bit, it'll be all right. Don't blame me. Call in Mr. Man Cave. I got you. And because I know Mr. Man Cave has been trying to get in for a minute. But yeah, man, that's what I say. So make sure you are, that you're rocking with the Discord, and there's a lot of good conversations that go on there. And I mean, it's a lot of things that get talked about that may not even necessarily be den topics. Great conversations. I mean, just great conversations to be had. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we got calling in to the den this evening?
What's going on, Huncho? Let me turn my TV down real quick here.
Okay.
What's going on, Huncho? This is your boy Man Up here, man.
Man Up. What's the motherfucking deal, Mr. Man Up? How you been, Mr. Man Up?
Can't complain. I gotta go down in my basement because just like what Prepe said, my wife and my little girl sleep.
Okay.
So what I'm finna do is I'm finna go to another area of the house so I don't even wake them up. Even though I'm not finna get loud or anything, but just be on the safe side. Now, all right, now I'm down in my basement.
Okay.
You know what? I was saying this in the chat, and I guess I'll prove them right. I don't know how you want to look at it or anybody want to look at it. Prepaid, man, you're wasting your time. When people have an opinion and you can tell that they're not going to budge, might as well just leave it, let it be. Trill has said that plenty of times. When someone has an opinion and it don't seem like that you can, I ain't gonna say change the mind, but put your thoughts, your 2 cents in it, just let it be. I'm not talking bad about Kenneth, but that's the way people are. I couldn't say American people, but that's how people are. And I'm like that too sometimes. It depends on the topic or how I feel about certain things. I'm like that. So when someone has an opinion about something, just let it be. Because you're basically wasting your time. Now, I do agree with Prepaid, man. He's not saying anything. I don't take it as he's being condescending or anything by saying that he's been successful. He's basically giving you a hint on what it is that you can do, just in case you don't think there's an idea of what you can possibly do. He's basically sitting here telling you, look, this is what I've done. You can do it. Hell, me personally, I've said this 1 billion times in the den, that I put money in stocks and bonds and all that shit. I've been said I was trying to retire by the time I was 50 and shit like that, which is in a few more years. I'm trying to. Don't know if it's really going to happen, but I'm trying.
Yeah.
I've said that plenty of time. It's not that I'm being condescending. It's not that I'm trying to show out or nothing like that. No, I'm giving you examples of what can possibly be done if you decide you want to do it. Everybody has their own way of doing things, and that's just life. So I agree with Prepaid. And I also agree with what Trill and John was talking about as well, too. I didn't catch their whole entire conversation. I think I probably caught the back half of it. But I agree with a lot of stuff they were saying. Both of them had great valid points as well, too. It's just that, look, we all have our point of view on stuff. And sometimes when we're stuck in our ways, I'm not going to say we don't see other people's point of view, but we kind of sometimes refuse to acknowledge it. I put it like that. And now with this whole looting shit, I don't know if y'all saw my text that I put in the den earlier before I had to leave and before I came back. I was saying that the police here in Colorado, where I'm at, some of them was protesting with the citizens, I guess you could say. They was out here protesting with them, not marching, but kneeling with them and all that. I was sitting there watching on the news. I was like, what the fuck? That was the first time I ever seen that. And that's a surprising turn. Yeah. And I don't know if this was what their plan was or not, but it calmed everything down when they did that. That could have been just their plan, just to try to keep it peaceful. to make it seem like the police is on their side. That could have been what it was. Don't know. But if it was, it worked. So I ain't gonna stay on here long, Hunter, because I know you're trying to, go and get you some sleep, do your thing. But all I'm trying to say is this here, man. At the end of the day, I do not agree with those looters. And Prepay, you was right. It does seem like I'm not knocking Kenneth at all. So before you say anything, Kenneth, because I've seen you go after people that's not really knocking you, you just feel like it sometimes. I feel like people that are looting is just trying to use it to find a way to get some free shit. That's all they doing. And a lot of these people that are stealing these phones and these TVs and a lot of these other kind of electronics, these tablets and whatever, they don't realize, or maybe they don't care, I don't know, that they do have tracking devices on those damn things. And they can come and get you. Exactly. And let's just say you stole it and you sold it to somebody. They're going to get whoever is in possession of it.
Right.
So a lot of people don't realize that. Yep. Possession is not just law, like you just said there. But yeah, and so that's why I say I'm not for this shit. And I agree with Pipe what he just said, and Kenneth did not answer the question. He said, since you're supporting it, can these people come in your house and riot and loot in your house? He did not answer the question. He avoided that. And I've been said 100 times before, there are other ways to get your point across. Yes, a peaceful protest is one. Like I just said, peaceful. But if it starts to get unpeaceful, you're not doing anything but proving everybody right about you being and living like animals, and you can't do this, you can't do that, and you don't know how to do nothing. You're just proving everybody right. That's all you're doing. That's all of you are doing. It's okay to voice your opinion. That's your First Amendment, freedom of speech. That's okay. But once you start damaging people's property, like J.L. Smith, I don't know if y'all seen or heard about it. He whooped the shit out that dude that broke the windows out his truck. He beat the shit out that dude. Knocked the brakes off that dude. And I would have too. Motherfucker come, like Prepay said, you damaged my shit. Well, a lot of people don't understand. You have the right to protect yourself, your family, and your property. So if I see the motherfucker damage my shit, I'm just like Prepay. I'm shooting. My wife is former military, and we got a house full of guns, and I'm going to use them. So motherfuckers come over here. I'm finna teach my daughter real quick on how to use some motherfucking guns, too. She finna learn real fast. You finna protect yourself right now.
Yes, I mean, there's a point where you have to. I mean, you really do have to.
Yeah. Because motherfuckers come over here, what I worked hard for, and what I'm trying to provide and teach my daughter, and you come over here trying to do the opposite shit, we finna have some problems. You do what you do. I'm not telling you to go burn down shit. I'm not telling you to damage shit or steal nothing. That's you do you. But don't come over here with that bullshit. That's all I gotta say. If you come over here, shit, I'm gonna act like this is Call of Duty and I'm finna start shooting. I'm not good at the game, but I'm finna act like I am. Shit, I'm finna start shooting. Because I have every right to protect my property. See what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, man, there are other ways to get your point across. I've said this plenty of times before. I said, hey, since we're in the day and age of social media, why don't we use social media to our advantage? How about we all put this energy into creating a billboard, or a TV commercial or something? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Now, the peaceful protest is cool. But when you start doing all this other crap, it's like, really? For real? What's that supposed to do? So at the end of the day, man, all I'm saying is this here, and I'm going to let you go. I ain't going to ride on too much longer. All I'm saying is this here. At the end of the day, when people want to try to find excuses to go and steal, because that's exactly what they're doing. It wasn't given to you. You ain't winning. You ain't buy it. You're stealing it. Plain and simple in the discussion. Well, that's all they're doing is making excuses. Oh, this is for this cause or whatever. No, it ain't. You're doing it for you, because that cause, when you steal a TV or whatever it is you're stealing, you ain't gonna go and donate it. You're just gonna take that to your house and you finna enjoy it. Exactly. So that's bullshit. That's bullshit. Don't want to hear nothing else, because that's bullshit. Because I don't like what's going on. I don't like this injustice. So I agree. I understand where everybody's coming. I don't agree with everything, but I understand it. Don't get me wrong. I do. But am I finna go out here and ride and shit? Fuck no. That ain't solving shit. Yeah. That's just proving everybody right that I'm a thief, that I'm a criminal. That's just proving everybody right about black people. And like like Prepaid just said, if Black Lives Matter, during all the protests, all these black people just died from these protests.
Correct.
And you can't understand that, something is wrong. So all you're doing is making excuses so why you can go and steal something.
Correct.
That's what you're doing. I don't care. You can sugarcoat it all you want. You're just bringing up excuses on why you feel like it's okay. You go and take something that don't belong to you. I agree with people 100%. I'm going to say this again. Motherfuckers come over here. My daughter's going to learn how to shoot that damn AK real quick.
Yeah.
She's going to learn how to shoot it. Shit. I ain't bullshitting you. That motherfucker better not come over here. So, but at the end of the day, man, I'm gone, man. I don't want to hold you up too much longer. Thanks for taking my call, man. I appreciate you. And I'll hook up with you soon.
Alrighty, man. I appreciate it. Like I said, yeah, we'll definitely link up and, ending the day on a real good call, man. I appreciate that.
All right, man. Yeah, I'll go.
All right. All right. We're going to wrap it up here. Folks, a lot of folks already in the Discord. If you ain't in there, you're late. Looks like some good conversation already going. So we're going to slide up out of here again. Den Show Live, at Den Show Live on Facebook. Ed Honcho HTX on Instagram and Twitter. Make sure you follow on all the proper social medias. Anything you need to know about the den, links in the description below. Make sure you check that out. If you got any questions, most of them can be answered there. But again, make sure I still got the link. Oh, trust me, you don't want me to take the shirt off. You can put that shit back on. YouTube gonna break again, like when old buddy was fighting in Disneyland. Oh yeah, absolutely, K Grace. But like I said, we're finna slide over there. So I appreciate y'all coming tonight, man. And I'm trying to produce, so should be some good conversation going on over there. But until then, I appreciate y'all, man. It was my honor, my privilege, but more than anything, it is my pleasure. And I thank y'all for providing me that privilege. I don't want to say providing me that pleasure because it sounds like some type of group sex stuff going on. So I thank y'all for providing me that privilege to be able to talk and chop it up with y'all, to host a conversation, a great conversation, each and every night, Monday through Friday, somewhere around 9 o'clock Central PM. So with that being said, I think I got to go home. The link to the Discord is there. You're being invited to the Discord, but you got to get the fuck up out of here. I am your host, Ed Honcho. Thank you for coming. Until tomorrow, same day and time, or around the same day and time, same day channel. Hey man, I'm out.